Achievement College Podcast, Episode 6. I'm your host, Aussie Gamer 17. You can call me Aussie. And joining me today is my co-host, Fox Players Official. How you going, mate?
Thanks for having me on the show.
No worries
Thanks
at
for having me
all.
on the show.
We've also got a very special guest, Reptar. Reptar, I want to
Hello,
start
everybody.
by getting you to tell us all about who you are, mate. Who's Reptar?
So I'm Reptar. I'm a variety streaming completionist. I get an achievement hunt, much like Aussie, but I also trophy hunt, much like Fox. I just like 100% in games, playing whatever. Pretty easygoing with most of the games I play. Do you want to know anything about my personal life or just my streamingness?
Whatever you're comfortable to share, but yeah, we usually keep it pretty
Pretty
games professional related, but whatever you want to share, mate. But what I took from that is basically if Fox and I had a baby, it'd be Reptar.
That's probably the best way to put it. Probably the best way to put it.
And where can we all find you? What do you do? What do you do in terms of streaming and other content?
Yeah, so I stream my current schedule. I stream here on Twitch on Mondays at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Central Time. And the bank card number, yeah, Poppy, exactly. And then Fridays at about noon Central Time, Saturdays about 2 p.m. Central Time. Wednesdays are kind of iffy days. So that's where to find me. Basically,
right.
the
And just a reminder, we do not respond to chat while we're doing the podcast, Reptar. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Now, here on the Achievement College podcast, we cover all the latest in the world of achievement and trophy hunting. Yes, that's right. Achievements and trophies. We don't discriminate here. They both give us that amazing feeling when we hear that sweet sound. You guys know the one I'm talking about. Thank you, Fox. We also talk about some of the big video game news from around the world and cover the latest releases and games coming to Xbox Game Pass, Games with Gold, and PS Plus. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about our thoughts on the Ubisoft Forward event. We're going to talk about The Last of Us 2, our Xbox Games Showcase predictions. Hold on for a big segment on that and much more. But first, I want to tell you guys that this show is brought to you by my awesome patrons over on Patreon. So if you want to support the show and support my channel, please head to patreon.com/AussieGamer17. As usual, I like to start the show by correcting the last show. And as usual, we've still got a clean record, Fox. Not a single thing wrong. Ever. Including the fact that I've never spoiled a game. Ever. That never happened.
Like Yakuza 0.
Moving on to the next segment. We are going to talk about games, and maybe we do slightly spoil games in this segment because we're going to talk about what we've been playing and how we beat games to get that platinum trophy or the 100%. And I want to start with you, Fox. What have you been playing?
All right, so first game is Last of Us 2. Do not worry, people. I don't spoil games like Aussie Gamer does. Pretty standard Naughty Dog trophy. Good news is there's no more crappy multiplayer like in the first Last of Us, so strictly single player only. So that, because that was a platinum trophy killer for a lot of people. It was a long grind. It was like 50, 60 hours to get the platinum trophy just for the multiplayer section only. Anyway, Last of Us 2, I enjoyed the game. I had no issues with the storyline as well. I had to finish it twice. So to get the trophies, basically, you've got to finish it twice, as I said. I guess if you really care about the storyline, I would recommend just going through it blind and just try and get as many of the upgrades as possible. And then, because you do have to finish the game twice, as I already said. And then when you replay the game again, get your collectible guide out, go through the level, and then realize how much of the level design you missed out on because you're probably just trying to focus on the storyline. The levels are quite intense, so they're really quite cool. And I actually appreciated the game a lot more the second time through. So yeah, it was actually a really fun platinum trophy to get. And yeah, just no difficulty trophies at all. You can do it on easy. And just follow the guide. There's nothing hard about it. It's actually one of the easiest platinums I've got in a long time. So yeah, it was good to have a chill session. But the game was not chill. The game was very intense.
I'm not sure if you already said this, Fox. How many times do you have to play it?
Let's count. So I did it once. What's the storyline?
And what about...
Then I think maybe twice.
Okay,
I'll say twice.
You have to play it twice. Now, you said that it's an easy plat and all that, but you said you enjoyed the game.
Easy.
Can you touch more on that? Like, is this, a Game of the Year contender, for example, for you?
I think the storyline's really good. As for the game, I don't know, it's just a standard AAA game to me. It doesn't do anything that special. But as a storyline and as a medium, it did a lot to push the boundaries of storytelling, which I found.
A lot of the criticisms were about the story, and I heard a lot of, Last of Us fans saying they ruined it and all of that. What are your thoughts on that?
I honestly, because I went to that game fully blind. I didn't see anything. I just saw a lot of people hate the game, and I was like, whatever. Anyway, I remember just playing through the game. I was like, and then I saw like the first twist or shock moment, and I was just playing it, and I was just like, oh yeah, just enjoying the storyline, and then someone in my chat who didn't like the game, I was like, says that it? And she's like, that's one of them, and I was like, okay, well, that's their story to tell, so whatever. And then the storyline kept going on, and there was like another moment that happened, and then the ending as well, and I was like, oh, that was really I really found the ending quite deep, and it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like a, without spoiling the game, it's kind of like a what would you do type of storyline type of thing. I think the main criticism people found is that they interpreted the storyline of the way the characters act. I'm just trying my best to not say anything specific to not spoil it.
Yeah.
It's almost like people interpreted the characters X way, which is not what Naughty Dog intended people to do. So I think people assumed that everyone was a good guy in the first game, the two main characters, but technically in this world, no one is a good guy. It's a zombie world, man. Everyone's eye for an eye anyway. So
yeah, and go ahead.
Sorry, no, it was so it's just kind of like in a world where I guess no one's technically good. Everyone's morally grey. So I guess it's kind of like the difference between, say, playing, I don't know, an example would be like, say, Fallout 4 versus like Fallout New Vegas, where Fallout 4, you can clearly tell who the good guys were. And Fallout New Vegas, everyone's technically bad and good, and it just depends on your own ethics and morals. So I don't know. I think people who have like really strong morals and have an inability to understand someone else's perception on how to deal with things will really struggle with this game. They'll just think it's stupid or hurtful or I don't know, whatever fucking words.
I really don't agree with the criticism of the story and being like they wrecked it and whatever. They should be allowed to tell the story that they want to tell. It's not like you can just write a piece of art based on what you think everybody's going to like. It has to come from somewhere more natural than that, I believe. And
they didn't wreck the storyline for this remake. Let's just say that.
They told the story that whoever, there might have been more than one writer, but the main writer or writers wanted to tell. They told that story, and props to them. Reptile, I'm not sure I actually know this, but have you played it?
I haven't played it, but I've seen like bits and pieces, and the part I've seen the most is the ending. I've seen the ending 3 times now. But I've seen like nothing
I think
else.
That's the only part I haven't seen.
So in a weird way, that actually makes me really excited to play the rest of the series.
Okay.
Because it's like a seeing how they got there kind of thing.
Yeah, you're gonna see how it builds up to that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So if anything, seeing the ending 3 times makes me want to play it more. But I just knowing how it ends, I kind of also agree where it's like I don't get all the hate on why it ends. Like why people are just so frustrated how like they want things to be how they imagine it in their head, and can't do that with things like storytelling.
I'll bet you if they got that, they would have still been. It's just that type of person, in my opinion. Okay,
yeah, it's unfortunate.
Like, I'll add one last point.
Sure.
I believe that because these fans put this game up into their head because they love the first game so much, they had this like rose-colored tint of how the second game should plan out. Mm-hmm. And it's most likely going to be like a happy ending in their head or something stupid. Mm-hmm. And obviously the writers went, well, this is not a happy ending. Well, this is reality. Like it's not happy.
It's their reality.
And I think it just crossed their expectations. So I always say to people, never have an expectation of anything. Like a writer can do whatever the hell they want. Don't overhype anything, because then when you hype something up, if it hits your hype, then cool. But if it doesn't hit your hype, then that lowness is just going to hit you so hard, and you're going to over exaggerate how much you hated it when it really wasn't even that bad.
Now, Fox, how long did you say the plat would be?
Oh, sorry. The platinum was, if you did it on easy, straight up, and watched all the cinematics and just played it.
Yeah, normal sort of playthrough. Yeah,
like 25, 30 hours.
Okay.
If you did want to do it on harder mode, it would take like another probably 5-10 hours on top. It's pretty tough on the hardest difficulties.
Okay, but overall, an easy plat, and I want to go from talking about an easy plat to what I have seen to be not quite easy. And Reptar, that is Dead Cells. You've been playing Dead Cells. Can we have a chat about that?
Yes, Dead Cells is haunting me. Dead Cells it's a roguelite. If you're unfamiliar with that genre, the main mechanic of that genre is dying. You get as far as you can and you die, and then you get a little farther and then you die, and then you get a little further and you die, and that's kind of the gameplay loop. You do a lot of the same things over and over, experience new builds and new weapons, and they're kind of games you have to really, really dig deep into and learn how to play, and they're very good at teaching how to play. It's been a struggle for sure. I beat the third unlocked difficulty last night. I did a little bit of chicken shit saving. I had to do a little bit
I'm mad. Don't blame that game at all. Do not blame.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, but it's the gameplay loop for as far as roguelites go is very interesting in Dead Cells, because a lot of usually it's like you die but you get upgrades that make you better. In this, the upgrades you get are kind of adding things to your RNG pool, which is really interesting. So it's just like it's a crazy RNG fest where I kind of eventually got to the point where I'm just like, I'm just gonna cheese it. I just need to finish this game. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. I'm setting rules to myself on my save scumming or chicken shit saves, where I can't just I can't do it room by room or whatever. Just I have to be very, very conservative with them. But it's an incredibly difficult game, but also a fairly rewarding game. That definitely teaches you how to play as you play it. I definitely recommend it.
So for those of us that don't know Reptar, how do you go about a completion? How do you go about 100%?
So you start on just the normal difficulty and you run through the game. And there's a number of things you can do on that difficulty, like just slowly unlocking all the abilities. It's got kind of a weird Metroidvania aspect to it, where you unlock abilities, and those abilities will allow you to reach different areas in different runs. So you can kind of do a lot on the easiest difficulty in terms of that. Just going, there's an achievement for going to every area. There's an achievement for unlocking every ability. There's an achievement for like just a few miscellaneous things. And then after you have all those out of the way, it's really just beating the game on each difficulty. There's a few achievements for killing bosses without taking any damage, which can be kind of tough. Yeah, it can be kind of tough.
Now, I remember watching you, I think on maybe normal or something like that, and you were referring to the game as a baby game. Have you eaten those words? I feel like you've been eating those words.
Yeah, it started as a joke. It was just a joke.
Oh, you were going hard on it. You were going hard on it.
I knew the game was supposed to be hard from the beginning, and I got really lucky in my second run ever, and I was just kind of making chat mad because of how like lucky I was getting. Yeah. So I was kind of digging the nail further into the coffin, calling it a baby game over and over. Like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I thought this game was supposed to be hard.
Now, Fox, I
ate my words. Oh, I died at the end boss, but it was fun.
Now I know you've got the plat in the game, don't you, Fox? Have you got anything to add to that?
Look, I was like, I like roguelikes, but Dead Cells was one I didn't enjoy that much. Like the normal difficulty, I had fun, and the next difficulty above it was like, all right, and then after that I was like, this is just stupid. It just became pretty much the game is a no hit run. Like you just can't get hit, and
it's rough.
And like I basically went on the internet to look up what's the optimum DPS build. That's all I had unlocked, and I remember just I save scum like a beast. Like I was like save scum after each hit on a boss guy, and
yeah, I remember
like getting that no hits. And I was just like, oh man, I just wanted that game to be over. Like I love roguelikes. Like Enter the Gungeon is one of my favorite games ever made. Dead Cells, I was like, I didn't think they got the difficulty right per se. Almost fine. The game, seriously, guys. But if you want to get 100%, just if you get to that stage where in the back of your head's like save scum, so just do it. Just commit to it.
Exactly what happened. Yeah, I was just like trying not to, and I was like, I have an amazing build on my my third hardest difficulty. I literally just told chat, I'm like, I'm sorry guys, I'm saves coming. I needed this game to be over.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. All right, so guys, if you want to try that, good luck. I want to move from one side-scrolling adventure to another, and in talking about what I've been playing recently, The Messenger. Oh boy, guys, I absolutely love this game. I'm going to call it an amazing must-play indie. I think it came out back in 2018. I only just finally got around to playing it now. I believe it's available on Xbox Game Pass, so if you've got that subscription, go play it. No, wait. Watch the rest of this podcast, then go play it. It is awesome. I am enjoying it. It's a 2D side-scroller. Apparently, this is a spoiler, Fox has told me. It's got Metroidvania elements.
Don't spoil. Oh.
I'm saying it. That's not a spoiler. It's in the bloody trailer.
It's a spoiler. No, it's not. It's actually not in the trailer.
Anyway, it's a Metroidvania. It's just the genre that it's in. Saying the genre that it's in is not spoiling a game. I'm sorry. I love that it's got the 8-bit art and the 16-bit art that you can change in between, and that's built into the story and the gameplay mechanics as well. Really, really cool game. The soundtrack is amazing on this game. I just had a great time playing it, and it has gone into one of my. I haven't put a number on it, but it is in the top 10 indie games I've played this generation. Possibly right near the top of that top 10. In terms of a completion, it's about a 12 to 15 hour completion. There's 3 really, really, really simple missable achievements that you just want to check a guide before you play it for the first time, and then just play the game and enjoy it. There is a 4th missable achievement that is really, really tricky. It's the hardest achievement in the game, and that is for getting through this place called the Dark Cave without a light or a candle, I think it is, that you pick up. That was really, really tricky until I fluked it and got it. So yeah, that's a lot of fun, but it's definitely not one that's impossible. It's just going to take you a few tries to get through the cave. You both have played this, am I right? Or Reptar, have you? I'm not sure if Reptar has. I know you've played it, Fox, haven't you?
I got the platinum. Was it last October? I think it was when I played it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a great game. Great game. I loved it. Storyline, good plot twist in the middle, which Aussie spoiled, and then good plot twist at the end as well.
Very cool. And Reptar, have you played it?
I saw it at one of the Games Done Quick speedrunning marathons. I was instantly interested in it. I saw it was on PC Game Pass, and it was something I was super, super looking forward to playing. I never got around to it. Now that it's actually on Xbox, it's going to be my next game after Dead Cells.
Oh, awesome. You'll have a great time with it. Really, really, I just loved every minute of it. And I was kind of disappointed that it's over. I forgot to look this up, but I want to check if they're making another one or something like that. I haven't found out, but guys, if you know, let me know in the comments down below. I haven't really got much else to say about it other than you've got to go play it, guys. I want to move
short
on
as well. It's only 15 hours.
Yeah, 15-hour completion. That you could do it a bit quicker if you pass the Dark Cave first try, or it could take a little bit longer if you get stuck on it. Now I want to talk about your next game you've been playing, Fox. What have you been playing?
Next game I played was... sorry, let me just write this down. So I played Bloodstained 2 Curse of the Moon. No, or Bloodstained 2... No, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. I don't know which order it was.
All right, fair enough. Tell us about it.
But it's the second... Yes, basically, so in case you don't know, because there have been a lot of people that came to my chat that didn't even know there was a first Bloodstained, or they got confused with the graphics. So, Castlevania, famous series by Konami. Konami started making gambling machines and started screwing over their developers. So, I forgot Iga's the woman that created Castlevania Symphony of Night, which was created the modern-day Metroidvania genre back in, 1997? And basically, anyway, long story short, he left Konami, became the biggest Kickstarter ever, was for Bloodstained, so basically creating a brand new Castlevania clone called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. One of the stretch goals was to create a classic Castlevania style, where it's just a simple 2D hardcore platformer like the original Nintendo games and the Super Nintendo game. And they did hit that stretch goal. In 2018, they released the first Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, strictly an 8-bit side-scroller with a hardcore difficulty, or you can put on easier mode. It was really awesome, a lot of fun, and they made a second one, which came out last weekend, I think it was.
Nice.
And yeah, it was great. I absolutely loved it.
They kind of stealth dropped that, right? I didn't hear anything about it, and I just one day I saw it was out.
Yeah, it was like I think it was like last month they said something because I kickstarted Bloodstained and like I even like read the emails that they send out and there's a Bloodstained 2's coming out. I'm like, oh, next week. I was like next 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure we mentioned it on the last podcast on our list of upcoming games.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah,
I actually honestly think they only announced it the month before that podcast on a release date schedule.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, it was awesome. So basically, I did get the platinum trophy, and basically, I think I'm like the 40th person to get the platinum trophy for the game as well. So hit me up, guys. And yeah, you can. The game's
what sort of completion is it?
As in difficulty or length?
Yeah, just tell us how to get the completion and what. Yeah,
okay,
how long.
Okay, yeah.
The whole spiel.
Yeah, takes about 12, 15 hours roughly. I think it was a bit shorter than that. Now it does have classic difficulty. So I don't know if you never played the original Castlevania Nintendo, if you get hit, you like fall backwards really far. So basically, if anytime you're platforming, you get hit, you just die anyway because you always fall off the edge. So I did put that on for the first run through. You do not need to have it on at all. So if you're too scared of that difficulty, feel free to turn it off. You can put it on they basically put like an easier mode on so that if you get hit, you just stand still and get hit. So it's just strictly there for the old school people like me. Anyway, to finish the game, to get the 100%, basically you've just got to finish the game once, which then unlocks a episode 2, which pretty much is the exact same game except the final boss is different. Finish that game again, and then you get episode 3, which then changes your cast of characters around. So in the game, you have 4 characters, and in episode 3, they changed it so you're the main character plus 3 characters from the original Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, which is kind of cool. And then you're going to do another playthrough of the game. Now, what's a bit tricky is that on the episode 2, you do have to get the secret item, and you have to finish the game without the secret item as well. So you do have to do episode 2 twice. So finish it first time without the secret item, and then redo episode 2 again, get the secret item. And then on the final playthrough, you got to finish that final playthrough twice because you got to do a trophy where you only finish it with just the main character only. And then you got to finish it again with all the characters and killing every single episode in the level. So that's basically it. It doesn't take that long. It's not that hard. There's no proper guides for it, so I had to look on forums how to get the specific achievements. So if
usually the case when it's new and you're one of the first person to get the platinum, there's unlikely to be a good guide. There's no Steam guide for it. I had to go on some forums. So if anyone gets stuck on it who's watching this podcast, just reach out to me. I'll tell you how to do it. It's not that hard. Very good, Fox. Very good. What about you, Repto? Are you thinking of playing that one? Is that in your
all those
thoughts?
Bloodstained games are. I have the 2 of them that came out previously. I'll probably get this one. I plan to do them at some point, but that's kind of the story of my life.
Yeah. Infinite backlog.
Yeah.
Yep, fair enough. All right, well, let's talk about your next game then, Reptar. What have you been playing? Is it Graveyard Keeper? Is that the next game you want to talk about?
Yeah. Graveyard Keeper, yep, that was the first game I streamed. Graveyard Keeper is a management game in the vein of Stardew Valley. A lot of people jumped into my chat and were like, this is just Stardew Valley, but with dead people and a little darker tones or whatever to it. It's just a pretty standard management game. You're working on improving a graveyard, and then there's other things like farming and crops, and you have to manage a church, and you can even start doing like winery stuff and having a vineyard and stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's a really fun game.
When you say it like that, now I know because I've played this game and I got addicted to this game. I streamed it as well, sort of close to when I started streaming. And it sounds really, really boring when you say all that like that, but it's not. It is. I really like this game. Yeah.
It's hard to describe a management game in a really exciting way because you're doing chores is what you're doing, but it's super fun and addicting.
We hate chores in real life, but in a game, it's somehow okay.
I think in the blink of an eye, I spent over 100 hours on that game all of a sudden. Like, it just flew by because I was just so addicted. I just kept going and going and going.
I was like kind of following an achievement list, kind of not. I was the first few streams, it was just like I was getting stuff ready, and I wasn't for like a few streams. There was no achievement progress, and because I was just enjoying the game. I was just increasing all my stuff and getting a bunch of stuff, and then I was like, I should probably work on some achievements, huh? And then I looked at the list of everything I needed to do, and after I started focusing on the achievements, it was like I had built up so much stuff that it was just kind of boom, 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 boom. Knocking stuff out. I was able to just do all the quests like back to back to back. There are some, when I played it at least, anything cumulative, which means anything where you are required to do a certain number of things so many times, like bury 50 bodies, anything like that is broken on the Xbox right now. I don't know if they fixed it since, but it's like in a weird way, it'll track as you're doing it, but if you shut the game off, it like snaps that tracker, and then when you boot the game back up, it kind of forgets to put that back together, and it just stays broken.
Yeah, okay.
So unfortunately, that's the problem. I still got everything I could in the game. I still enjoyed it. If you're not super crazy into having to get the completion, and you just want to hunt a game and don't care about things that are discontinued or broken, I still highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun.
Or if you know that going in, there's probably a way around it, do you think? Or...
Well, the way around it would be to keep the game on, essentially.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well.
So, yeah, you could do that, but.
Still definitely worth it, though. Definitely.
Yeah. It's a fun game. It's a super fun game. Super chill and relaxing, easy game. Anyone could do it. Anyone could get into it. I highly recommend it.
All right. Now, I'm trying to get segues into the podcast, and now I want to segue from that game about death to a game about investigating a death, Call of Cthulhu, I am playing through at the moment, or I have played through it. It's really hard to say how I should say this, because I have beaten it, but I'm also making a guide for it, and that's only halfway through. But yeah, Call of Cthulhu, for anyone that doesn't know, it's like a scary horror type game, detective style game though. Reminds me a bit of like a Sherlock Holmes mixed in with some supernatural elements and stuff like that. It is another game that takes about 12 to 15 hours to complete. It's got heaps of like missables and little collectibles and really tricky, finicky achievements. And this is a real annoying problem in the game. The game's great, but this problem for achievement hunters or platinum hunters is annoying because there's no save system and there's no chapter select or anything like that. So if you miss something near the end of the game, you're redoing the entire game. So I do recommend following a good guide like the one that might be on my YouTube channel right now. But and there's these things. So there's these like, let's say there's a collectible inside a building and you have to pick the lock to get in. It's very RNG based whether you're going to be able to pick that lock, and it'll do this animation of you picking the lock, and you're either going to pass it or fail it. There's no skill involved. It's just luck. And if you fail it or pass it, the game saves straight away. Like there's no stopping it. It saves. So if you've failed it, you're back to the start of the game. Fortunately, in my video, I do show that there's like the animation is slightly different, whether it's going to be a fail or a pass. And if you pause it in the middle of the animation when you know it's already failed and just load the last checkpoint, you're not going to lose anything. But yeah, apart from that though, the actual story and stuff itself is really, really cool. I love these types of games. So if you're into that sort of thing, definitely recommend checking it out. Reptar, have you played it at all? I don't think Fox has.
It's another game that I bought. It's on the list. I'll do it eventually someday. That's the story of my life.
Earlier this year, it was free with Games with Gold, which is when I picked it up, and I actually started making my guide for it back then. And like you just said, Reptar, actually it ended up on the back burner while I was working on a few other things and playing other games. So I'm only just getting to finish it now. But definitely worth it if you picked it up on Games with Gold and you haven't tried it yet, or you've got yourself a copy of it. I don't think even if you had to buy it, I don't think it's a full price game or anything like that. And like I said, you do have to play it through twice to get the separate endings. Second playthrough is going to be a lot quicker without having to go through, get all the collectibles and stuff like that. And even with 2 playthroughs, it's only going to take you, like I said, 12 to 15 hours total. Fox, any questions on that one? I don't think that's your sort of game.
No, like it is. I was actually gonna play it.
Oh, really?
I love HP Love. Yeah, I love HP Lovecraft stories. So
yeah.
I actually wanted to play the original Call of Cthulhu and the original. It was an Xbox exclusive, the original game.
Right.
I wanted to play that, and then this new one as well. Just yeah, because my friend said I'd like that stuff anyway, and I like horror games or good quality ones. So yeah, I was gonna, but yeah, good to know that I got to do it twice. And is it 12, 15 hours for together or both playthroughs?
Total. So one playthrough might be around 6 hours. Yeah.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
That's not a big deal.
Yep.
Yeah, it's easy, simple.
Yeah. And like I said, the second one, I mean, you have to make a few different choices in the set. Like for example, there's an achievement for beating the game. Or it's not even for beating the game because the achievement pops about 3/4 of the way through the game, but for not drinking, because there's always an option to drink alcohol in this game because he's a bit of a drunk at the start of the game. I won't go into it, that's right at the start, so not a spoiler. Apparently I'm being ridiculed for spoiling things at the moment, but
spoiler 17.
But there is an achievement for beating the game without drinking, and then there's some different choices that come up if you do get a bit intoxicated during the game as well. So that's the second playthrough I'm doing, is going to be getting quite drunk during the game. But really, really cool. From one really, really cool game to another, Fox, I actually really like the look of this other game you're going to talk about. Hit us with it.
Yeah, look, this is a Ukulele and the Impossible Lair, and I kickstarted the original Ukulele, and when it came out, it was all right. We decided it's an adequate game. I didn't want to call the game good. I didn't want to call the game okay because I think it's better than okay.
The second one or the first one you're talking about adequate?
Oh, the first one.
Oh, okay.
The first one's adequate. Anyway, this second one came out, and because everyone was really mad about the first game, and once again, this is like another toxic fan base that people were just getting so pissed off at the first game because they were expected to be the next Banjo-Kazooie because it's from the X team that created Banjo-Kazooie. So they wanted another Banjo-Kazooie to recapture their childhood. And unfortunately, it didn't hit that mark. And so when the second game came out, a lot of people shunned it. But Playtonic's, who's the original, the new Railway team with all the old ex-staff members, they went, all right, let's go back to our roots and make a 2D game. So it's more similar to the original Donkey Kong Country trilogy. And it is so much fun. It's a much better game. It is awesome. Recommend to everyone. It is deceptively hard, though. So basically, the completion's pretty straightforward. It's just pretty much get 100% all the levels. So luckily the collectibles aren't super annoying. All it is just finish the level and get the 5 coins. And the level only takes like, say, 4 to 7 minutes. But this is the big achievement. The hardest trophy in the game is, now they did make it easy. I did look it up. The game's called the Impossible Lair. The actual Impossible Lair is like this hardcore platforming level. And the reason why you've got to do the normal levels in the first place is every time you finish a level, you get a B, which gives you an extra life. And there's 48 Bs in it. And then when you go to the Impossible Lair, you get 48 tries at completing this level because there's no checkpoints. So imagine doing this massive, big beast of a level with no checkpoints. However, with the patch, they did add 4 checkpoints to because there's 4 boss fights in it in that final level. That's why it used to be like an 8 out of 10 difficulty, but now it's like a 6, 7 difficulty. Like it's still hard, but at least you can. So if you want to make it a bit easier on yourself, or on your skills not that good, feel free to do the Impossible Lair with the checkpoints. Otherwise, if you want to do it hardcore, just go for it. Get the collectibles and go for that. But it's an awesome game. So 2D platform, and it has a 3D overworld, which has like a lot of secret tonics, which you got to collect as well. But yeah, pretty much just get 100%. It's just like a standard kids platform game. Get all the collectibles and you're done.
Are there a
it's
lot
not
of
excessive.
collectibles?
That's the main thing. It's not excessive at all. It's on the scale of Donkey Kong Country to Donkey Kong 64. It's definitely the Donkey Kong Country.
Okay.
The just right level.
And that's really good news about them adding those checkpoints, because I heard back when it first came out that people were having a lot of trouble with it, and some people that I heard from couldn't beat it at all. So it might make it more doable. This is a YouTube channel I watched where they specifically do like hardcore challenges, and someone actually did the Impossible Lair without even getting a single B, so an extra life. So he did the whole thing with just the no extra lives, did the whole thing. So basically, meaning he did it permadeath, like first go, like first try.
Permadeath, first try. Yeah. What a beast.
Yeah.
Awesome game. Definitely recommend.
Sounds like a gamer of my quality, my skill level, definitely.
Okay. When you're doing Dark Souls, when you're going back to Sekiro, then.
For those that know me, I am not a pro gamer at all. Okay. Anything else on that one? How long do you? You haven't beaten it yet, but do you know what the estimated completion is?
Like 15-20 hours roughly.
Mm-hmm.
I had so much fun playing it. I haven't even noticed how much I've already spent into it. But yeah, it's about 15-20 hours, so
Okay, that's
not a
not
big
as
deal.
big as I thought. Okay, cool. All right, moving on.
It might creep up to 25, but yeah.
Yeah. Moving on from that one to another game that I was really interested in until I saw it has a bit of a pinball mechanic, if I can already spoil that.
Yes.
But
Reptile.
Creature in the Well, can you tell me about this?
Yes. So I wanted to talk about Creature in the Well because I adored Creature in the Well. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. I saw it was a Game Pass game, and usually with Game Pass games, I'm kind of like, they're like often straight to Game Pass games, like straight to Game Pass indies are usually like, they're all right. They're neat, whatever. But I love super unique concepts to games, and this game is nothing but a super unique concept. So it's a hack and slash puzzle pinball game where your hack and slash elements is you're slashing and hacking pinballs to solve puzzles in each of these different rooms. It's incredibly easy to pick up, incredibly easy to play, super fun, super intuitive. I highly recommend it. If you don't have an Xbox Game Pass, it's pretty cheap everywhere else. In terms of completion, I did it in about 5 hours, maybe 6, give or take. I didn't really even need guides. I just did everything in all the dungeons. I just went to every room. So I absolutely adored it, way more than I thought it would. Super worth looking at. Super worth picking up if you haven't.
I might have a look at it. So would you say that me being turned off by this pinball mechanic, I can't even properly explain why it turned me off, but I was going to play it until I saw that, and I was just like, it doesn't look cool to me, and it turned me off it. Should I rethink that?
I think you should, absolutely, because I was kind of underwhelmed by just like the idea of the game at first too, and then I started playing it, and it was just so much fun. Because it's not like pinball in a traditional sense that you'd really expect, and you can get a bunch of upgrades for your weapons that like do different things to the ball, and it's I think you should totally rethink it.
Okay.
Short as well, it's only 5 hours, so
it's short. 5 hours. Even if you hate it, it's a quick plow through. You could do it in a stream pretty easily.
And it's on Game Pass, isn't it?
Yes, it is on Game Pass right now.
So for those that have Game Pass, no brainer. Oh, that's me. I've got Game Pass. So just add it to the list, though, as we've been discussing.
Yeah,
today.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Very cool. All right, what is it? Has it got a good soundtrack and all of that? I forgot. Did you say?
The soundtrack was if it's maybe not, the best word is not memorable, but I remember enjoying it. I can't really remember it right now.
Okay,
but
fair.
I think I enjoyed it.
I think so. No worries.
I'm pretty sure I enjoyed the soundtrack. I think it was really cool and soothing and stuff. But yeah, it was a really good game. Really good. Took me by surprise completely. I thought it was just going to be. I only played it because it was basically my Discord's. We do a book club with video games, and it was that for the month. And I was like, let's give it a shot. Why not? It's short. I know it's short. And I was like, this game is so cool. It's so much fun.
Oh,
so
very cool, very cool. Well, I'm considering putting that back on my backlog list. Who knows when I'll get to it, but at least it might go back on the list. From one game that is going back on my list to a game that was on my list for a very, very long time, and that is Just Cause 4. I love the Just Cause series. Finally playing through Just Cause 4 at the moment, and it is so cool. I've heard a lot of criticisms of Just Cause 4 for those that enjoy the series, and that I heard that they said, it's just like 3. And to me, that is not a criticism. That means it's awesome because I loved 3, and it feels a lot like 3. They have added quite a few things. I think it's definitely worth a sequel. I have referred to it a little bit as 3.5, but the more I've played it, the more I've thought, no, it actually added enough. It changed enough. It improved enough for the sequel. And playing through this game, it just gives me massive like 80s, 90s action movie vibes, where I feel like I'm in one of those cool, you're just blowing stuff up, you're just shooting stuff. Rico Rodriguez is one of my favorite video game characters. He is just like an 80s, 90s action movie star. He just makes funny one-liners every now and then. He just has fun. Right off the bat, right at the start of the game in a cutscene, he's like, someone's saying, all right, so here's the plan. And he goes, no plan. plans are just a list of things that can go wrong. We're just going in. And it just made me think of Leroy Jenkins. It's just like, yeah, this is going to be fun. And that's how it starts. So I was just like, yeah, we're in. It is a fairly big completion. There is a lot to do. This is like Ubisoft style stuff where you get the big open world map and just tons and tons of little icons on there that you got to go and complete. But everything I've done on it so far, I'm just having fun with it. If I had to criticize some of it, because it's not Game of the Year or anything like that. If you wanted to play the most impressive game ever, you're not going to play a Just Cause game. Some of the missions, like I like all the side stuff, they don't feel too repetitive, but some of the missions have felt very similar to each other, the actual story type missions. So that's one thing I would knock on the game. You go and take out a base and it's like you've got to go get some computer, you've got to hit the button on the computer, and then you've got to wait while it downloads and protect the computer while it downloads. You had to do that. I've had to do that like 10, 15 times. So, but the completion overall, nothing really super hard. It's just about grinding out everything. It should take 50 to 70 hours, I think, is the estimates I've seen. I think I'm on about 50 hours, and I'm getting pretty close to finishing it. Any questions about Just Cause 4, guys?
So, I played 1 and 3, and I remember when I played 1, I think that was only on Xbox at the time, 360, I think it was. I remember just then that's when I used to play sandbox games all the time, and I remember just going through them, oh my god, there's so much to do. So, pretty much the same number 4, just a lot. 50 hours is quite a long time.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to do. As I think Reptar pointed out the other day when I was in his stream, it's not as big as 2, for example. 2 is one of the biggest games going around. 2, okay. But it feels, for me, I only played 3 around a year ago, and it feels roughly the same size as 3, but I don't trust my memory on that either. So, but it's 50 hours. There's, like I said, I haven't got bored with it. I haven't had to stop and grind anything either yet. I think there is one grindy achievement that I might be doing at the end, and that is not going to be the worst achievement either. It's just blow up things until you've got enough points. So I'll just go around with a rocket launcher for an hour or so, I reckon. But having a lot of fun with it. Reptar, did you have something to say?
I was going to say, so I played Just Cause 1 through 3. I bought 4 on release. I haven't played it yet. Playing 2. And just on the story comment, the story is kind of repetitive. In my experience with Just Cause, you don't play Just Cause for the story.
Correct.
You play Just Cause to satisfyingly blow shit up.
Yep. 100%. 100%. I always try and look for something that I could criticize the game for, and if I had to pick something, that was it. But
absolutely.
It's such a small percentage of the game anyway, the story stuff. It's not really the main.
You play
game.
Just Cause to just blow things up, and it's so fun.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so that is what we've been playing, guys. Now we're going to move on from a Ubisoft style game that I just described Just Cause as, to talking about the Ubisoft event from I think it was about a week ago. Feels like it was about a lifetime ago, but Ubisoft Forward was last week. It featured some games that I'm really, really excited for. I know, Fox, you're not really a big Ubisoft fan, but Reptar, I am excited to see what your reactions are to the event overall, to start with. What did you think of the event, if you have watched it, I assume? I should have checked that before the show. You haven't watched it. What about, have you caught up with some of the news from it, and do you know the games that are coming?
I know Far Cry 6 is coming out. I have been following Watch Dogs Legion.
Yep.
Or Watch Dogs Legion. So those are definitely things I'm both excited about. I like Ubisoft games. I know they get a bad rap of how they're all the same. They're super samey and repetitive. I like that gameplay loop. I like the big open world with a checklist of things to just do.
Yeah.
So Far Cry 6, I'm excited for it. I was hoping it would because I know Ubisoft was saying they had one more unannounced game of an existing IP. Everyone knew it was going to be Far Cry 6.
That's because it ended up getting leaked. But what were you hoping it was going to be?
I was really hoping for a Rayman or Splinter Cell. I know that's wishful thinking.
My prediction before it got leaked was Splinter Cell, and I did a live reactions show, and my prediction before the show was that there might be a Splinter Cell. But now that now that it didn't get announced, I have severe doubts that there is going to be a Splinter Cell game. But since that event, Ubisoft have announced another Ubisoft Forward coming this year. another big event similar to the one we just had. So my hopes are still just hanging in there.
I didn't even know I wanted a Splinter Cell so bad until like probably less than a year ago. I went back and finished Splinter Cell Blacklist, and I was like, this game is so good. This is so much fun. And I was like, I want more Splinter Cell, and they just haven't done anything with the series since 2013.
Just think about the technology that they've got in games since then.
Yeah.
Like, they could make such a good Splinter Cell game now.
Yeah,
but let's talk about what they did announce. I'm going to start with Far Cry 6. I love this as well. I mean, it's not super soon, but I love that it only just got announced and it's coming out in February 2021, so we don't have too long to wait. A lot of people watching this will know that I've just finished playing Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn, and I had the best time, and it renewed my love for the series so much that this has already become one of my most anticipated games of the next year. Are you excited for it at all, Fox? Far Cry?
It looks pretty cool. I just wish they showed some gameplay, because it looks like it's set like in Cuba and there's like a riot going on, or
it's definitely
a Cuba
South America
country.
Yeah, South America. They said. Yep.
I was just curious to know if it's going to be like there's going to be like with the civilians as well, and like try and fight against the military. Like maybe if it like does like a hybrid of like say Far Cry 2, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know if it does something like that, because obviously the actor who plays as the bad guy, awesome in Breaking Bad. The trailer's pretty sweet. I just want to see some gameplay.
I think the reason they didn't show gameplay is, one, this was just the announcement of the game, so very, very early look at it, and two, they wanted to show off more gameplay from the more sooner to be released titles like Valhalla and Watch Dogs, so they sort of just saved the gameplay for Far Cry will come at a later event like the one I just mentioned, hopefully. But you're right. I mean, but before you can get fully excited, unless you already know that you're going to love it like I do, you probably need to see some more gameplay to know exactly what to expect. And what about you?
I just want to see if they was doing anything different.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Far Cry 6. I love Far Cry. My first experience was Far Cry 3 on the 360. I absolutely loved and adored it. I have the remake on the Xbox One. I plan to play it at some point. I mean, story of my life at some point. I have the 100% on Far Cry 4. I have 5 and New Dawn, games I still need to get to but plan to do. I just, like I said, I love games that are just a giant checklist are an achievement hunter's dream.
Yeah.
And that's what Far Cry is. It's a giant map with a bunch of little icons that you have to go check the boxes on.
Very interesting that you say that, because Far Cry 2 was the first game I played on Xbox 360. I got it with my Xbox 360, so I don't know where the timing is on that, whether I got that late or not, whatever. But that is what I got with my Xbox 360, and that is what started me achievement hunting. Far Cry 2.
Really?
Yeah, and I love Far Cry 2. Up until Far Cry 5, Far Cry 2 was still my favorite Far Cry of all time.
Really?
Far Cry 5 has a lot of recency in my mind now, so it's sort of my favorite at the moment. But Far Cry 2 I really love. That felt like a big checklist, but just an awesome open world to play in. And I don't think they've stepped wrong, since then. I think they've just improved since then, really. But yeah, super excited. And you're right, that whole checklist thing, I think, like we said with a lot of Ubisoft games, they do it really well. And I definitely enjoy that gameplay loop. I just realized that I put Far Cry 6 twice. That's meant to be Valhalla, I believe. Valhalla is coming out November 17, isn't it?
That's correct, yeah.
Who's excited for that?
That's right.
Fox, you must be.
So it's boring as hell.
Do you really think that? Have you watched the trailer, Fox? Or any of them?
Yeah, that was terrible.
That just blows my mind. I almost didn't want to ask you about this because I knew
I shook my head during that gameplay trailer.
I guess it's good to get a different perspective, but that blows my mind. I watched this, and I watched it with Crazy Hazy on my live reactions, and I saw his face. He is super excited. I'm super excited. Reptar?
I love Far Cry, or not Far Cry, excuse me. I love Assassin's Creed games. I get their criticism. They're all very samey, and their gameplay loop is very samey. I've only, of the new ones, of their new style, I've only played Origins so far. I need to play Odyssey. But when Valhalla was announced, I have the big statue Steelbook Special Edition already paid off and pre-ordered. So I'm getting it. I'm excited.
You're getting it? Is it a day one thing for you?
I have the big statue Steelbook Special Edition pre-ordered, so I'm definitely getting it day one. Right. Like it's paid off and it's coming to my house.
Oh, day one, I am so pumped for this. I already love Assassin's Creed games. Something I love almost as much as Assassin's Creed games is the Viking setting, and now we're getting both in one. It is going to be so damn good. And
Norse mythology.
Regardless of what Fox says, looking at the gameplay, it just made me want it even more. The gameplay to me looks amazing. The combat looks awesome. We know it's going to have that checklist gameplay loop that we were just talking about. I'm actually really, really interested in the like the settlement building aspect that they're adding. So you've got to set up your camp or your settlement for your people, basically, where you're building your new life. In another country. I'm really excited to see how that all ties in. And what we don't know is how it ties in to the Assassin's Creed lore overall. So I'm also interested to see how they tie that in as well. Okay, moving on from that, they also showed Hyperscape. It's not something I'm interested in. I wanted to see you guys, Fox, is it something you would look at all?
Yeah, I looked at it. I was like, I didn't really understand what was going on with
In terms of a battle royale, it looks kind of cool. It looks like if I was into battle royales, I might try it, but I'm not, so I won't. Reptar, is it your sort of thing?
I hadn't seen anything about it, and then the second you said it was a battle royale, I just kind of went.
Yeah, okay. Well, we can move on to that. Move on from that to something you did mention earlier, and that is Watch Dogs Legion. What gets you excited about this, Reptar?
I played Watch Dogs 1, and I just absolutely I loved it. I thought it was Assassin's Creed in the modern world, which I love Assassin's Creed. I haven't played 2 yet. I need to. So it's more Watch Dogs, which I'm all for. I'm excited for it. So I like that whole hackery vibe kind of thing. I think it's fun and cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, awesome.
I don't have much more to say other than that, but I know I'm looking forward to it.
And what about you, Fox?
Yeah, well, like Watch Dogs 1 I thought was a terrible game. But like number 2 was awesome. Huge improvement over the first game. So Reptar, I hope you do get to play 2. It's really good. Like I even think it was one of my favorite games in 2016.
Reptar, you haven't played 2, is that what
I haven't played 2 yet.
2 actual shits on 1.
Really?
I am one of the only people. I'm one of the only people on the planet that thinks I enjoyed 1 more than 2. I did not finish 2. I didn't finish it. I finished 1. I played the crap out of 1. I loved it. Didn't finish 2. But I am definitely the only person I've ever met with that point of view that's played both. So, and I'm not excited for Watch Dogs Legion. I was hoping that this trailer would get me more excited and make me want to play it. It's not. I don't think I'm going to be picking it up, to be honest. Which I can't believe because I love Ubisoft games.
I'm concerned because like that 2 was the characters were really awesome, but like number 3, I didn't really see characters. So
well, do you know the concept is that you can be anyone? So you go into the world as some random character, and then you can meet someone.
I know
and you recruit them, and then you can become them instead. So they're not.
I feel like it's over ambitious. It's an over ambitious mechanic that either they'll pull it off well, or it's just going to be stupid. Or something like that.
They really have to execute well. Is going to be the thing for sure.
Yeah. I'll probably wait for reviews, and if they all come out 10 out of 10, then maybe I'll play it. But I'm not too excited.
Ubisoft has slipped a $100 bill to everyone to say that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's enough about the Ubisoft Forward event. What I want to do now is move from some high tech in Watch Dogs to some real high tech coming very, very soon, and that is Xcloud is coming to Xbox Game Pass in September. During the week, Microsoft announced this as part of the your Xbox Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate subscription. This is really, really big news. It means we're going to be able to play all of our Game Pass games on the move when we finally, here in Australia, we don't have Xcloud yet, so that's sort of disappointing for me. And they did announce that it's only coming to supported countries to start with, so I don't know when we'll get it here in Australia, but I already can't wait. Has anyone, Fox, obviously you're in Australia too, so you haven't. Reptar, do you have access to Xcloud?
I do, and I've used it, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, is this exciting for you?
What's about it? What's Australian? You don't know what it is.
So, and I even have the clip from my phone, and so my xCloud experience, it's been fairly limited, but when I got accepted into the beta, I was looking into this for like forever. As soon as they started announcing it, I was like, this is going to be the future. Like, I'm going to be able to play my games wherever I want, and that's going to be amazing. And I tested it out on my Wi-Fi. I tested it out on data. It actually, or like phone signal, whatever, and it ran incredibly smooth on both. I played Halo. I played a Halo multiplayer competitive, and it was totally seamless. It didn't feel like I was playing on like at all. And then actually, so I haven't, like I said, I haven't had to use it a lot because so I'm a touring musician, so that's why I was really excited about it, because I can play my Xbox games on the road.
Yeah.
We haven't been touring because we've been doing other stuff. That's neither here nor there, but we haven't been touring for a while. So my main experience is we were actually shooting a music video, and it was the same day as a Mortal Kombat X special event that only comes once in a blue moon, and they don't advertise when it's going to happen. You just have to check and play, and you have to do an achievement in that special event. And I was like, crap, I'm not going to be able to do this because I'm going to be gone all day busy. And I ended up actually just bringing my phone with me, bringing my clip, and bringing my controller, and I just did it at the site where we were shooting the video, which was amazing to me. Like, I didn't have to miss out on this because I just played, and that's more the console streaming thing, which is something I'm a little more excited about than xCloud, because xCloud is purely server based. Their games are on the server, you load it up. Console streaming is you set up your console to be the server hub, and basically wherever you are in the world,
right? It's going to be an option through Xcloud.
Yes, it's another option. Yeah, you just select it on the app. And that's what I'm mostly excited of, is you literally just I can just remote in.
That's how I will use it mostly as well.
Same. I can just remote into my Xbox from anywhere, wherever I am, and play my games. Anything downloaded to my Xbox I can play.
This is probably going to sound super, super lazy, or it's an insight into my life. But the thing I'd most be excited for it is that if I'm finished playing here, I'm sitting in where I normally do my gaming right now. But sometimes I want to just go and play something chill, and maybe go to my bedroom to do it or something like that. I don't have a Switch to go pick up or anything like that. I'd be excited to just be able to play my Xbox games that I have here in this room in another room of the house. Like, even just that excites me. And Xcloud just makes that. Like, sure, I could move some stuff around and be able to do that here now, but to just be able to do it with that sort of ease is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and you totally would be able to do that. It's super, and you know, and they're just ironing out the kinks the longer it exists, you know, and making it more seamless.
It actually makes Stadia look pretty silly, I think. Like, especially with Stadia's pricing model and stuff like that. The fact that they're adding. It's not so much an announcement of xCloud coming to more people or anything like that. It's the fact that they're adding it to your Game Pass subscription, so it is automatically getting your Game Pass library of games. That you don't have to pay any extra to buy those games. Like
Game Pass Ultimate, right?
Correct. Game Pass Ultimate.
So not just so you need to shell out the $15 a month, which I endorse. If you do Game Pass and pay for gold, you should just get Ultimate, honestly.
I already have Ultimate, and I've never even played a PC game, so
even if you don't, I kind of did the math on it, and if I just realized want Game Pass, and
I signed up.
I haven't either.
I signed up like over a year ago for this thing where I paid like $1 to get Ultimate. And it went for the rest of my live subscription time, which was like a year. So I got like a year for $1, and then it expired a couple of months ago, and it's just kept going. But now I'm paying whatever the $15. I'm paying for Ultimate when I don't even use the PC side of it. So, but
it's still worth it.
It is. I couldn't care less.
It's still totally worth it. I mapped it out, and no matter how you spin it, if you pay for Game Pass and you pay for Xbox Live Gold, just do Game Pass Ultimate. And if you don't do Game Pass Ultimate, just do Game Pass Ultimate.
Just do it. If you don't do it, do it. Yep.
I tell so many people, just get Game Pass Ultimate.
Now that I've got Reptar on, maybe finally Microsoft are going to sponsor my podcast one day. Fox, I mean, I know you're a PlayStation guy, Fox. Does this news interest you at all?
Well, not really, but it's pretty cool technology, so it's awesome.
But is it something that would ever, and I think you're the wrong person to ask this because you're so ingrained with your trophy hunting and stuff like that. Is it something that would ever sway you if PlayStation don't come to the party?
Hold up, Aussie. I've got a Switch to play some exclusives on there. So
am I wrong that you're not ingrained? I'm not saying that you don't play other platforms. I'm saying you are very much ingrained.
Would you play Sony get an exclusive?
No, if this was the other way around and it was Sony doing it and not Xbox, it wouldn't change.
Mom and Dad quit fighting.
No, but seriously, is it something that would ever sway you at all? That's what I'm wondering. Not really. That's why I said you're the wrong person to ask, because I'm more wondering for the market out there if it's something that would sway, PlayStation players to consider Xbox for the next generation. Because I'm looking for Xbox to catch up on PlayStation in the next generation and not there be this big massive gap. I'm wondering if this is going to be a system seller, if this is going to help sway the market. And you're saying probably not, folks.
I honestly think we're still in this age where because system selling relied on console exclusives, and I still think Xbox is a bit behind on that still. But this technology is really good, so Sony definitely needs to step
probably
it up.
The number one thing, and I'm hoping and praying and thinking and believing that the event that we've got in a few days is going to change that, and we'll get to our predictions a little bit later in the show. I'm thinking that we're going to get some more parity on the exclusive side of things. I was thinking before this Xcloud announcement, I was thinking that going into the next generation, if Sony don't sometime soon come out with a competitor to Game Pass, that they're going to start behind.
Absolutely.
Because Game Pass by itself, without Xcloud, is amazing value. If you go and pick up the Xbox Series X on day one, and I'm talking about the mums and dads out there, you're automatically getting, they're going to bundle in some sort of Game Pass subscription with each console sold. So you're automatically getting 100 games or more. Day one of Xbox Series X. Is it closer to 200 now, is it?
It's closer to 2, yeah.
So imagine 15-year-old, or maybe younger, 13-year-old Timmy, you're going to buy him a Christmas present this year. You've got the PlayStation 5 or the Series X. You buy the PlayStation, let's say they're both $500. You buy the PlayStation 5 and you're going to have to pick up a couple of games. So let's say that's $600-700. Or you buy the Series X for $500. Don't have to spend any more money, and little Timmy gets 100 games. What are you going to buy? I know the parent. What are you going to buy?
Unless that kid intercepts and says, "Hey, mum, I really want to play this on PlayStation." Yeah. The mum's going to clearly see value for money and straight away buy the Xbox.
That's where I'm coming from.
13-year-old me would want 200 games in a new console instead of a new console.
Yeah. Ask little Timmy, actually. Yeah. Ask little Timmy.
13-year-old me would want that.
Yeah. What's little Timmy going to ask for? Oh, I can get the PlayStation 5 with this one awesome brand new game, or the Series X with 100 games that I can play whenever I want,
including the newest releases that are launching on Series X, like Halo Infinite and probably the new Forza and
hold up. Let's bring it back though. 13-year-old Timmy's only gonna play Fortnite and Fortnite only, so the 100 games are wasted time.
Okay, I really meant 13-year-old me. Or Reptile, okay.
13-year-olds have been ruined. They've been ruined.
We need your reverse card on that one, Fox. That was a good one. All right, let's move on for that, because I didn't want to turn it into a console war or anything like that. Like I said, we don't discriminate here, but it's just an interesting topic to think about and talk about.
But I think Sony needs to step it up there. Absolutely.
I just want to touch on some other news before we move on to our next segment. I thought it was really, really interesting that The Last of Us Part 2 had the biggest opening month of any game in 2020 so far, and it is the third biggest selling game of the year. This is the part that I found the most interesting. It's a bigger first month than Final Fantasy VII Remake, bigger than Animal Crossing for the Switch, and not so interesting, but bigger than Doom Eternal. Big first month. Are you guys surprised at all by those numbers?
I was surprised by Animal Crossing. When I saw Animal Crossing, it was bigger than Animal Crossing. That was like, really?
Yeah, because Animal Crossing we touched on an episode of the podcast that it was a huge. It broke records
everywhere. I couldn't scroll my socials without Animal Crossing being everywhere.
Yeah, because it was right at the start of COVID.
Yeah. So when I saw that Last of Us 2 outsold Animal Crossing, I was surprised. I was like, really? Everything else, I was like, whatever. Animal Crossing, I was surprised.
Yeah, really. Another thing that's probably not that interested, but I just thought this was cool. Microsoft Flight Simulator for PC is going to ship on 10 discs.
Yeah, I saw the bundle that came in, and that looked gnarly.
It does.
Which
look
is
really,
kind of
really, it looks kind of cool.
I love Microsoft Flight Sim.
It's actually really cool if you look into this game. And one of the reasons they said that they're releasing this like as a big physical edition on 10 disc is to save people's internet as well, because they're preventing people from having to download the whole game, which would just be crazy for people.
Oh, because they're doing the whole world like photorealistic.
Yeah,
right?
you can fly anywhere in the world. It's like like
it's insane.
Yeah. And another thing that I was really excited about during the week is Shadow Warrior 3 was announced during the Devolver digital event during the week as well. I'm a big fan of the Shadow Warrior series and Lo Wang, so I can't wait to see that. Anything else that caught your guys' attention over the week? I think I did already ask you guys. You didn't have anything to add to the news?
Yeah. So I watched the Devolver digital showcase, and that was an actual showcase. That was comedy. It was funny. It was like it made fun of corporate bullshit. And if more companies followed that suit, I'd actually watch these showcases for once. So many cool games were announced on it as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There's a game that Carrion I really want to play. It's not coming on PlayStation.
I'm playing that soon. Yeah, that comes out at the end.
Yeah, so I'm gonna because that game's made in Poland, so I gotta support my people. So I'll get that on Switch.
It actually comes out this Thursday. That's when I'm going to be playing it. That's
July 20 something.
July 23rd.
July 23rd.
Because we're about to cover that because we're moving on now to our Xbox Game Pass segment of the show. And what I want to do is go over a few of the games. I'm not going to go into as much depth as we normally do in this section because we've got a few other things to get to, guys. But I do want to go over the games that have just released and the games that are coming soon. We have Endless Space 2 on PC, I know nothing about. Halo 3 has just released onto Game Pass on PC as part of the Halo Master Chief Collection. So PC players have finally got Halo 3. I do love everything they're doing with the Master Chief Collection and adding things to PC. Hopefully just building some more hype for the new Halo coming later this year. Neon Abyss, Fox, I just wanted you to quickly talk about this one. It just got added to Xbox Game Pass. What did you think? Because I don't think you were overly positive about it.
Yeah, look, it's not bad. Basically, so let's it sounds a bit mean to say this, but like when I played the game, it felt like it was missing heart and soul.
Ooh.
And like it's still a decent game. So basically, if you guys don't know, it's basically a 2D roguelike where you jump up, down, left, right, and you pick up guns and you upgrade them. You die, you repeat the level, unlock upgrades. It's just missing something. And then I found out the developer who made it is actually a Chinese developer, and it's their first ever game after making mobile phone games. So that kind of answered the question. Like people say, "Oh, things made in China don't have that heart and soul." That's how I felt like after I played the game. That was it was just missing something. But I still think it's a quite impressive game. If all you've made was mobile phone games, and then you make this, I still think it's a pretty decent game. I'm waiting for them to update it. I reckon if they update it a few times, I reckon it can actually has potential to be something good. Will it replace Enter the Gungeon, Binding of Isaac, Dead Cells, even like the really top tier roguelikes? Probably not. But
it's a starting
still a
point.
Game.
It's a starting point.
Absolute starting point.
What about
in regards to the
achievement hunters and platinum hunters out there? What do we
now?
got?
No one's got 100% on it yet, and I'm actually concerned that some of the achievements are glitched. But basically, you do got to play the game. Tell me about like 9. You got to killing the boss like a few hundred times. You got to die like 999 times. There's like a few RNG trophies. There's a few RNG trophies that no one's gotten yet, so that's what got me a bit concerned because like I was like, oh, great.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for it to get patched and get people to confirm if it's possible to get the platinum yet or not.
Okay. 2 other games that just released onto Game Pass is Forager on July 16 and Mountain Blade just released on July 16, which is a couple of days ago as we record this, guys. Coming soon though to Game Pass, game that we were just talking about is Carry On. It releases onto Game Pass. I've purposely not really seen too much about it. I've heard a few little things, and I just want to try it. Something that I haven't had a lot of games where I've been excited to play day one lately. So this is something I'm trying to get a little bit of excitement around. Do you guys know much about Carry On?
Oh yeah, look, I'm gonna probably get it either on Switch or PC. I'm gonna play it. It looks so good.
Yeah, cool. Fox, maybe you need to get Xbox Game Pass for PC because it hits that day one, mate. So I don't know if you already have access to that, but there you go.
Switch as well, so I'm going to play on Switch.
So yeah, I'll be playing that on Twitch, I do believe. I have to look into the achievements. I haven't done that yet to see if I could make a guide for it. Also coming at the end of this month on July 28th is Grounded into it's in the Xbox preview program, but available through Game Pass as well. This is a game also I want to try out. I think in the preview program it is only the multiplayer component of the game. I could be wrong on that one. I'm not 100% sure, but I just love the look of this game. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the game, and I think I'm going to try that maybe with some viewers or something on Twitch. Would be really, really cool. So yeah, I'm excited about that one. Let's just run through the rest of these. Nowhere Profit, I don't know anything about this game. That's coming on July 30. The Tourist is coming on July 30, as is Yakuza Kawami 2, which actually makes me sad because I still haven't gotten... I've just beaten Yakuza 0 earlier this year. I want to get to Kawami 1 before Kawami 2, but I love those games so far from what I've seen. Now, as we move on, I want to just quickly discuss a couple of games that are leaving Game Pass at the end of the month for those that have Game Pass and want to get some completions. I am about halfway through Rime. It is leaving at the end of the month. It is awesome so far. I'm really, really loving Rime. It is a very cool game. I can't believe it's taken me this long to try it. But guys, you have just under 2 weeks to go and pick it up and beat it. I think it's only... a 6 to 8 hour completion anyway, so guys, go and try that. Another game leaving Game Pass at the end of the month is Banner Saga 3. I love that series. I've played all 3 of the Banner Saga games. I would definitely recommend going and trying that one as well. Have you guys played Rime or Banner Saga, guys?
Rime, go ahead, Fox.
Okay, so Rime, I have it on my PlayStation. I did buy it. Actually, maybe it came for free one time. And I've even got the map for the game. One of my friends gave me the promo map for it. But I haven't got around to it. I actually almost played it last month. So I was actually going to play a few games before I get to Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm going to probably chuck Rime in there because it's only going to take a stream or two. And then Banner Saga, I actually own the vinyl soundtracks for it. So yeah. I played it, but I've got the vinyl soundtracks because the artwork's gorgeous.
It's a cool... I love the Banner Saga series. Go ahead, Reptar.
Sorry, okay. I loved Rime. I thought it was a beautiful, amazing, gorgeous game. I'd seen it around on advertisements and stuff on news sites and stuff. And then I actually finally got around to playing it, and it was such a beautiful, gorgeous game. I teared up at the end. It was such a good, heart-wrenching ending. I loved it. I recommend it. If you haven't played Rime, if you have Game Pass, go play it. If you don't have Game Pass, buy it and play it. I highly recommend it. Banner Saga, I played the first one, and I did not like Banner Saga. It felt like the combat was way too... It just felt too random, too RNG, too weird. I don't like that as I take damage. I mean, I get it. It makes sense. Like, you take damage, so you do less damage, which is kind of a cool concept because, like, as you hurt, you're probably not going to swing as hard. But in a gameplay setting, I didn't like that. I have the first one 100%ed. I don't think I plan to do the second or third. I've looked at the lists, and they look like just headaches and stuff I'm not willing to invest time into.
Yeah, I liked just the whole tactics of getting your whole clan, I think it was called, through to the end of the game and stuff like that. The combat itself, probably needs some work, and they definitely made changes from first to second to third, so they've improved on it along the way. But I can see what you mean, having played the first one as well. But it was more just like, I like the art style, the music, and the sort of the storytelling in it. That's what got me through it. But I can definitely see what you mean. But I would definitely prefer Rime anyway, having played that for the first time just last night. And I'll be getting to the ending tomorrow on my stream as well. I can't wait to play the rest of Rime, actually. Might be something I talk about on the next podcast as well. All right, let's move on from that, unless you guys have anything else to add for that. Now, go ahead, Reptar.
I was just gonna say, touch on Grounded. I hate survival games, but Grounded looks so charming. That's all I wanted to say about Grounded.
It looks so cool.
I really want to play Grounded.
I will definitely be checking that out on stream. Yeah. Normally, I would say no, I'm not going to check it out until it releases properly. But I'm getting that pump for it that I'm thinking of checking out the preview. It's
such a charming concept. I'm just so excited for it.
I just have a soft spot, like a bit of nostalgia around Honey, I Shrunk the Kids as well from when I was a kid, watching those movies and stuff. All right, let's move on. You did just touch on it, Fox. You're going to be playing Ghost of Tsushima soon-ish. You haven't quite picked it up yet. I don't think you've played it yet, have you, Reptar?
Nope, I'm waiting to the PS5 so I can play it in full 4K and HDR.
Ooh, very cool, very cool.
Oh.
And I obviously probably will never play it. I don't own a PS4, and I'm not planning on getting a PS5 either. But it looks really cool. I've watched a few people stream. I think I'm the only person on Twitch right now not streaming Ghost of Tsushima, I'm pretty sure. And you too, because
I'm not streaming it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm streaming Dead Cells. Come on.
I said, you didn't let me. I said, and you two, because you're here.
Okay.
Okay. You talked over me. You talked over me. Bad podcasting, you two. But what I do want to do is, I know that there are a lot of people out there excited for it. It looks cool. I've been watching people stream it. Looks really, really cool. I just want to quickly do a review roundup. It's something I like to do on the show. It is currently, when I last checked, it was sitting on 83 on Metacritic, which is a great score for Metacritic. I just wanted to go over a couple of the reviews that I had a look at. Game Informer give it a 95, and they said Ghost of Tsushima captures the mystique, fierce violence, and barely contained emotional angst of the great samurai films. Watching what I've watched, I could definitely agree with some of that. IGN gave it a 90. They said Ghost of Tsushima is an enormous and densely packed samurai adventure that often left me completely awestruck with both its visual spectacle and excellent combat. Now, one of the Outriders was, I think this was one of the lowest scores it got, was from GameSpot. They only gave it a 70. Still, in my book, still a good game if you get a 70. And they said, the game hits a lot of fantastic cinematic highs, and those ultimately lift it above the trappings of its familiar open-world quest design and all the innate weaknesses that come with it. But those imperfections and dull edges are definitely still there. Sounds like something you would criticize a game for, Fox. That's what that reminds me of, reading that last bit. It reminds me of an Ubisoft
Good to have some more critical... It's good to have more critical reviewers out there, because every time we're in IGN reviews, she's like, I love this game and I don't look at any flaws at all. So I like when people actually look at it critically, because when I watched it, and it looks good, but it doesn't look like it's going to change the world to me.
It looks like Japanese Assassin's Creed, which I'm super okay with.
I can tell you right now, if it was an Xbox, if it wasn't exclusive, if it was on Xbox, I'd be playing it. I'd be one of those chumps that are streaming it right now.
Yeah.
I would be excited for it, but obviously I'm biased and I can't be excited for it, so I hate it. No, I don't hate it. I think it looks awesome, and I would play it if I had the chance.
But the cinematic options they're awesome. Like
they
black
do
and
look
white
cool.
Japanese dialogue.
Yeah.
It's missing black and white with full red blood. That would have been.
That would be really cool. Sort of like Kill Bill.
Like Kill. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
And I know, Fox, I reckon we could have a whole nother segment on reviews, on about, being more critical and blah, blah, blah. But we'll move on from that, because now we are at the moment of the show that I've been mostly looking forward to. And that is the Xbox Series X Games Showcase, what we think of it, and our predictions going forward. What I've done, guys, instead of a lot of this is going to be, we already know a lot. Well, I already know a lot of what's going to happen on the show, at least I think I do. So what I've done, guys, is I've come up with a bunch of questions I want to ask you guys and get your answers on these questions. I'd love for someone in the comments on YouTube or in chat to keep score with us and see how we go when the show airs on Thursday, July 23rd. And I want to announce right now that Reptar, you're going to join me for our live reactions show on Thursday to watch the event.
Yes, sir.
Before we get into the predictions, are you excited for the event? Because you do play on all the platforms, but I think of you as an Xbox guy.
I main Xbox. I definitely main the Xbox. All my games are on Xbox. I'm very excited to see it. I'm glad it worked out. There was a little hiccup, I know, but I remember checking my schedule one day and I had it off work. So yes, I'm super excited to join you.
Yep.
I honestly don't know if I would have watched it anyway, regardless, because I'm busy all the time. But this is a really fun excuse to be able to watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited.
I've done a couple of these live reaction shows now, and these shows are the sort of thing I would normally watch anyway. But actually watching them with someone and with chat and stuff like that has made it that much more exciting to just sort of experience it together, get excited together, build some hype around some of these games and stuff like that. Fox, I don't know if you'll even be watching any of it at all. Probably not.
I'll just read the highlights as always.
Yeah. Probably in our next podcast we'll go over it. That's when you'll figure it all out.
Excuse me, a day before the podcast, if you give me the notes, I'm like, all right, let's just watch that trailer.
I'll send you the notes on the show, and you
skip the corporate bull crap.
Get up to date. Yep.
Yeah.
Each to their own, All right. So what I want to know, guys, let's go through this list of questions and see if you guys in chat can give us your thoughts and save some of your thoughts, guys, for after the show here on Twitch. We're going to do a bit of a Q&A with you guys after the show. And obviously, you guys watching it on YouTube, let me know in the comments down below what you think. All right, Halo Infinite is the one that we just got to get this out of the way. It's guaranteed to be there. We already know that, so I can't ask you if you think it'll be there. What I want to know is, will we get a release date? Will we see a heap more gameplay? We haven't seen any gameplay from it yet. And no, I'm not going to ask that third question because that's for our betting segment at the end. So more on Halo Infinite a bit later, guys. But are we getting a release date? Reptile, I'll go to you first.
I want a release date, but I can't say for certain if we'll get one because I think getting a release date for Halo Infinite is getting a release date for the Series X.
Correct.
So,
that is 100% right.
I don't know what they're doing with that. Sony and Microsoft are playing chicken is what they're doing.
So my first question I had originally when I first started making the notes for this show was, are we going to get a release date or a price for the console? Since I wrote that, Microsoft have come out and said that this is going to be all about games, not about hardware. I cannot see them. We are in the middle of July, towards the end of July by the time this show comes out. I cannot see them not giving a release date for Halo. And you're 100% right. If they do give a release date for Halo, that's the release date of Series X. Yeah. It's a tricky situation, but I need an answer. Yes or no?
No. I think they're too afraid of the Xbox One release, announcing their price and the release date before Sony. And then Sony released sooner and undercut the price. I think they're too scared of that. I don't think they're trying to do that again. So no. I don't think they're going to give us a release date.
I think Sony and Xbox need to have a chat to each other because they're both going to give the same price. They're both, if one comes out and says 500, the other one's going to go, oh, we have to match. We're going to go 500. They just need to chat to each other and go, all right at the same time we're going to release it, or we're just going to. This is how much it is. Let's just both agree. Bam, do it, please.
Yeah, get diplomatic about it.
Okay, so you're a no on release date. I'm going to be more specific with the next. Is it going to emphasize gameplay, what we see from Halo Infinite this week?
I think we'll see gameplay. I do think we'll finally see Infinite gameplay.
Will it be emphasized more than, say, a cinematic trailer?
I think it has to be because we've seen cinematic trailers.
Do you remember what happened with their last Xbox Inside event or whatever? How they got ridiculed for not having enough gameplay?
Yeah, they said it was going to be a bunch of gameplay and it was a bunch of cinematic trailers.
Correct. So this is going to be gameplay. So there's my answer on the release date. I want to say yes, so bad. I believe the release date, if they do it, will be the 17th of November. I believe that is the release date of Valhalla, which I believe will be a release title for the new consoles. So there's a big prediction from me, but I think I'm going to go with no, because I think you're right. They can't release a date for Halo Infinite when they haven't released a date for the console yet. They're going to do that first.
My heart says yes, my gut says no.
Correct. Fox, I need a couple of answers from you. Same
logic as Reptar. They're not going to say until waiting for Sony.
Yep. Okay, so you know what it'll be a release window, but that's too easy. We know that. So it'll be a release window. Next game, another game.
Holidays 2020.
All right, I'm getting the easy ones out of the way early. Hellblade 2 is going to be there. That was announced during the Game Awards last November. They're going to focus on this game again. I don't believe that is up for debate really, but again, I want to know: do we get a release date? And do we don't know how far along this game is. Do we see gameplay? Let's have some predictions on that. We'll go to you first this time, Fox.
I think that look, I've noticed that AAA developers are too scared to show gameplay, whereas like smaller developers don't care. They just want to show the game. So I reckon we'll get gameplay.
I think
and release date.
Yeah.
Release date, I reckon it's coming end of this year. It's coming out soon.
Yeah. That's another one where it might be tricky. They might want to put this as a release, a console release title as well. So whether or not we just get the window, I have a feeling we're going to get release windows for these. I think we'll get a release window for Hellblade. I think we will definitely see gameplay, because I do think that this along with Halo are two games that should be further along, and may, like you said, if it's going to come out later this year, they have to show gameplay now. They have to, and I think they will, because of where I think it's going to come out. And I think I'm actually excited for Hellblade 2. Let's get some answers from you, Reptar.
I think release date is going to be, release window. I think they're going to say holiday 2020, or they're going to say spring 2021. I hope it's a release title. It would be sure as hell be a strong release title, especially if they're pushing exclusivity with it. Because I know Hellblade 1 is on PS4. So if they were really exclusive with Hellblade 2, I think that'd push the console a decent bit, because
that happened because I believe Microsoft picked up the studio while Hellblade was already almost ready, apparently. So
gameplay, I think we'll probably see. I'd like to. I'm really hoping, and I don't know. I don't know if this is a widespread opinion or not. But when they announced Hellblade 2, I was really hoping it was kind of like a Hellblade 1 was like a getting their feet wet kind of thing, and Hellblade 2 they're going to be way more ambitious with. I'm hoping like a God of War almost game is what I was thinking when I heard they were doing a Hellblade 2. I think it'd be, because Hellblade 1 was so short. So that's what I wanted. Like, that's my opinion. I think that was getting their feet wet. Hellblade 2 is going to be more ambitious. Yeah.
And what I don't know is how much money Microsoft have put into the studio now. Is it the same size studio?
Probably a lot.
Bill Gates money. They put some Bill Gates money into it.
But I mean, they've spent a lot of money on all these other studios as well. But how much? Like, did they make it a bigger? Because it's going to come down to, like, it's not going to be a bigger scope game if it's the same team. You know, if the team hasn't grown, then they haven't spent, unless they're going to spend another 5 years making it. If the team hasn't grown, then it's not going to be a bigger scoped game. Like, they need a bigger team to make a bigger game.
Right.
But I would love that, if you're right, Reptar.
Like, as soon as they announced that, that's all my.
As soon as you said God of War style, I was like, yes, they could.
It fits. It's a Norse mythology game. It's got that same vibe. It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect competition from Microsoft against God of War. Yeah, perfect competition.
Yeah. And it's something that when you compare the two, I mean, where Xbox are lacking in a lot of areas when you compare the two exclusivities. But with what we think or might know that is coming up, we've got a few different genres covered now with all the new studio acquisitions. One thing that we are missing for Xbox is the big third-person action-adventure game, like The Last of Us, like God of War, something to compete with those we don't have. But we're going to touch on more rumors or predictions around that in a moment. Okay, so you're thinking release window. Fox, you're thinking release window, did you say?
I think date, but...
Fox says date. I'm saying, I want to say release date again with this one. These are the two, though, where I thought they could be release titles. And if they give release dates, especially, let's say Hellblade comes out with a big trailer and gameplay reveal on Thursday, and they give a release date of November something, straight away I'm going to think, well, that's the date of their console then. You wouldn't release it in November on a different date of the console. Like... Yeah.
At least Halo. Yeah. Hellblade, I could see them releasing different, but Halo,
I'm putting this and Halo in the same boat with that, but let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will go with release window, but definitely we will see gameplay. All right. Moving on to another prediction. Xbox own the studio, which... what's the name of it? Working on Psychonauts 2. It just left my brain.
Double Fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Double Fine.
Yes, so we know Psychonauts 2 is coming. They've already announced that. Are we going to see it at the show?
So I love that game. The first game's amazing.
I would love to, but I don't know how much Microsoft is going to emphasize it. I would love to, though.
I think we'll see it. I'm going to say we will see it. That's what I want this question to be, this prediction. Will we see it or not? Let's not worry about release dates and all of that. I think we're going to see something from Psychonauts 2. I think it has enough people that like it. And I just like Tim Schafer and the whole company vibe and stuff like that. I think it'll be a good addition to the show. A lot of the other stuff that we're talking about and have talked about are a little bit more serious. I'd like this to be part of the show to compete with some of those cooler families type games that PS5 announced during their event. I think Psychonauts would be a good one to put in there. So I'm going to say yes. Fox, do you think we'll see it?
So probably not though.
Well, give us a yes or a no just for the scorekeepers.
Sure. Yes, we'll see it.
Yes. Reptar, what were you again?
I'm gonna go with a no.
No.
I don't think we'll see Psychonauts 2.
You party pooper.
I want to, but I'm gonna go with a no.
Okay, cool. All right, well. Okay, we also know that Obsidian are working on a few games at the moment, but they are also known to be working on a AAA RPG. Will it be The Outer Worlds 2? Well, first of all, will it be shown? Second of all, will it be The Outer Worlds 2? So they're the ones that made The Outer Worlds. Big release from last year now? My memory. Or are they working on a new IP or something else? What do you guys think about that? I'll go to you, Reptar.
I think they'll show it. Obsidian is one of their strongest developers they've acquired. So I think they'll show whatever they're working on, or at least talk about it. Mm-hmm. Outer Worlds 2 or not? I played Outer Worlds 2, so I'm trying to think of how that ended and if they could continue off that, or if they'd have to just do something in the same world. I
think more like sorry to cut you off there, but I think more from like a Fallout perspective. I know if they obviously worked on Fallout games, so maybe that's why it's in my head. Yeah. But I think you could easily. So in The Outer Worlds, slight spoiler, but you're one of the survivors from one of the ships that got stuck in space.
Oh,
you could easily be one of the other survivors.
Yeah, or just some sort of different story in the same world, kind of thing, like they do with Fallout. Yeah. I think that's a toss-up. I can't honestly say if it's going to be Outer Worlds 2 or a new IP or not. I don't think I could. I have enough information to make an actual prediction.
Okay, but if I had a gun to your head,
for the Outer Worlds 2. If you had a gun to my head, Outer Worlds 2.
Okay, Fox.
And it'd be Xbox exclusive.
I'll go first, just to be fair, because I don't know, Fox. But I'm going to go with Outer Worlds 2, and my reason is they could have been going either way early on, but I think Outer Worlds did so good. I think it did really, really well. I think it beat their expectations. I love the game. I think it's a great game. I think the world that they've started to build is awesome and could be built on and improved. So I'm going to go with it'll be Outer Worlds 2, and it will be shown. I have a side note
when you're done with this for a second.
Go, Reptar.
Okay, I was going to say I literally talked about Outer Worlds yesterday on stream. Outer Worlds makes me so mad at Fallout because it showed me what Fallout could be. It could be Fallout could run smooth, not have glitches, in it just like Outer Worlds made me so mad at Fallout.
Yeah. I mean, Outer Worlds I think they saved themselves because they had a smaller team at the time and stuff like that. But where they made it more sort of more smaller, in like when you go to a planet you get like a smaller sandbox, so they made it so not so big and high scope.
And I really liked that. It was really cool.
I enjoyed that too, but it also helped them polish it a little bit more than having one big giant open world. But
yeah, definitely.
Fox, what are you thinking?
I am thinking for an IP.
Different IP?
Either a different IP or a sequel to not Outer Worlds, so some of the older stuff that they made back in the day.
Okay, yep.
I don't think it's going to be Outer Worlds 2, though. I forgot what Obsidian made back in the past. I think they made what's called... what was it? Baldur's Gate, I think? I don't know. I have to go for their list.
They made a lot of different RPGs, I feel like. But
yeah. I feel like it's not going to be Outer Worlds 2.
Okay. But do you think they will be at the event? Do you think they'll show something?
Yeah, I think Microsoft's going to be pushing a lot because the Sony show was pretty decent, so I think Microsoft needs to.
I think they will. And as Reptar said, it's one of their bigger acquisitions, one of their most well-known studios that they've picked up. I think they need something from them to give it a bit of a punch, bit of oomph. Okay. What I want to know now is, you may or may not know, but there is a rumored Perfect Dark game. And I want to know, are we going to see something? Perfect Dark, basically. Will Perfect Dark be at the show? Will it be announced or shown in any way, shape, or form? And if you really, really want to get sort of risky with it, tell me who's making it as well. We'll start with you, Fox, because I know you like the original, am I right? Do you know much about this? Do you have any thoughts on whether there's going to be a Perfect Dark game?
Look, as long as it's not Railway making it, because the new Railway team's not like the old Railway team. I don't know. I don't think they'll show that. I don't know. I think it's a rumor.
Yeah, I think I will add, I guess, that one of the rumors I've heard is that and I'm going to talk about the initiative in a minute, but it is that they're the ones working on it. A Perfect Dark game, the initiative. And for those that don't know, the initiative is this studio that Microsoft didn't buy, but they've started a brand new studio and they've called it a quadruple A studio. So they're making a quadruple A game, not a triple A game, a quadruple A game. And so I've heard a rumor that they're working on Perfect Dark, but I think that would be a waste of a quadruple A studio. I think they need, if they're going to do the quadruple A, I think it needs to be a brand new IP, something like we spoke before to compete with The Last of Us or God of War or even Horizon Zero Dawn, that sort of scope game, but quadruple A. So Perfect Dark, I'm going to go with no. I don't think, whether or not they're making it, maybe they are, whether or not it's far enough along to show something, I would say no. And I don't think they want to, if they show it at all, it would be like a teaser logo or something like that. But I don't think this is the show for that. I think this is the show where they need to come out with games and gameplay and games that are coming soon. Not, hey, look at this logo for a game that's coming in 5 years. Reptar, thoughts?
I think if anyone's making it, it's Rare. I hope it's not being made. I don't think it makes sense to make a new Perfect Dark. I think that game is best left as a fond memory.
Yep.
On the Nintendo 64, we don't talk about the 360 one.
No, yeah. What if I said to you...
Forget the really good Game Boy Color game, guys.
What if I said to you, there's a team working on it? What if I said, and this is not true, but what if I said to you there's a team working on it that are sad about no Splinter Cell and they want to replace Splinter Cell? Could a Perfect Dark game replace Splinter Cell?
Maybe. God, I hope it's not the initiative. I hope the initiative's not working on it, though. That'd be, like you said, that'd be a waste of the initiative's effort. I think no, they're not going to show it. I think it's a rumor. God, I hope it's a rumor. That doesn't excite me at all. The news of a new Perfect Dark does not excite me at all.
No, me either. Okay, so we're going no across the board.
Yeah, no, they're not going to show it, and I don't think it exists, and I hope it doesn't exist.
While we're talking about it, then I do want to know about the initiative, about this quadruple A studio. As recent as 2019, they were still hiring. Are we going to see something from them in the show? And I've pretty much already given my answer with considering how new they are, and like I said, I don't think you want to show. If it is a quadruple A game, it's going to take years to build, right? So you don't want to show something now. So that's sort of what I want to go with. But in what I said before about Obsidian, like Xbox kind of need to show something from this studio to go bam. So, Reptile, I'll start with you this time. What do you think we're going to see anything from them?
Yes, because they've been hyping it up so much.
Yep.
And they need something in forms of exclusives. I'm super excited about the initiative. I've been looking at the names they've been of people they've been hiring, and it's a total powerhouse team. I'm super eager to see what they're going to make. I'm sad we haven't seen anything yet, but I get why we haven't, because they don't want to show anything that's not like, they don't want to show something and not be able to deliver. So I get that.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to show something from the initiative. I'm going to go with yes on that one.
Not really part of the whole prediction thing, but if they do, I'm assuming you think or hope it's going to be a new IP. But how do you think it's going to be, like a teaser thing, or bam, we've got gameplay, or what sort of scope are we thinking?
I think it'd be a cinematic teaser of a new IP.
Yeah, and it's something a while off.
Yeah. Something 2022 or
I have to
late
agree with you. I don't want to agree with you, but I have to agree with you because it's I think so. I think they have to show something because they want it like a big, this is what we're doing, but it's going to be too far off, which is going to disappoint me, but also excite me.
I mean, when you talk Microsoft, it's a huge elephant in the room. Is this initiative? Everyone.
What are they
wants to know
doing?
what they're doing.
Yeah, they've spent. Talking about Bill Gates' money, Fox. They've spent money on this thing. This is. And
we won't see anything until there's a release. Until they're confident that game's coming out either this year or early next year. So I don't think they'll show anything. Yeah.
Part of me wants to say that too, but I think I have to go with Reptar on this one because of where Xbox is, and they just need this heavy hitter to show something. I think people will be vocally disappointed if they don't show something, which could be could look bad.
People are already
for
vocally disappointed.
okay.
People all over are like, "What is the initiative doing? What are they doing? Why?" Yeah. So
you know what has been very, very quiet recently as well is anything in the Forza franchise. For the first time in years, we did not get a Forza game last year, and we have not seen anything from any Forza game since. So they have not announced anything. There's barely even a rumor of a new Forza game, but has an Xbox console released without a Forza game? Would you be? I mean, you got to. The cool car game has to be in the console release, doesn't it? Are we going to get a Forza game?
Maybe they're just waiting
show?
for. I reckon they're just gonna wait. Probably creating like a brand new. They probably want to take a year or two and be like, "Oh, new Xbox coming out. Let's create a brand new engine so we can like update the game properly with brand new graphics engine and physics engine." And it takes a long time to make a simulation physics engine. So, will they show Forza? Maybe, but there will be a new Forza next year. I guarantee for the new Xbox.
You're saying no? You mean this year then? The console comes out this year.
No,
the console comes out this year.
It won't be. It won't be out.
You don't think it's a release title? I'm going to say that yes, it's going to be a release title and it's going to be shown. The only thing that makes me think twice about that is they've been pushing that Dirt 5 or whatever it is. But yeah, there has to be. I'm going to go with a yes. That we're going to, and if it is coming out this year, they have to show it this week. So yes, we're going to see a brand new Forza game. I want to go out on a limb. So we actually do, you know how they were sort of alternating. So it's been Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon, alternating year on year. I want to go out on a limb and say, I was going to say it'll be a Forza Horizon game. And then this idea just popped into my head that it's going to be some sort of hybrid. Some sort of brand new, like I'm just going to go with Forza. I can't, Forza hybrid, just some Forza game. What do you say, Reptar?
I think, yes, they're going to show it. I think the reason they haven't showed anything yet is because it's not anything incredibly hyped or new. But I think they're going to say, yep, Forza whatever, Forza Motorsport 8 or Forza Horizon 5. Or I like this idea of what you have. Maybe they just they pull an Apple and they just go Forza on Xbox Series X. It's literally just Forza.
Yeah.
And it's a nice, cool hybrid. I think that'd be cool. I think it's coming this year. I think it's launching because what better way to show off the console's power than a game where you have an excuse to make hyper-realistic graphics and have a simulation engine and stuff like that.
I can't imagine them not. It's the one thing where everybody, even PlayStation gamers, would agree that they're beating PlayStation on. Like, Forza beats Gran Turismo. Like, why not go with your strength and play that card when you've got it? Like, you wouldn't.
I think they're going to show it.
Yeah, you can't hold that back. You can't.
I think they're going to show it. I think they're going to release it with the console.
Cool.
I think it's a no-brainer.
Yep, agreed. Okay, next question I have is, there's another rumor, but I'm pretty confident in this rumor. I know a few things in the background, and that is there's a Fable game coming. Does it get announced this week? That is my question. And if it does, is it going to be a Fable 4 or a reboot? Fox, do you know the Fable series well?
Absolutely. It's why I stopped following developer stories for that game. So
really?
Yeah. Do you not know what happened to Fable?
Are we talking about
the owner of the original Fable? Was Peter Molyneux created the idea, and he was a very famous overseller.
Yes.
And I remember being a very young teenager. I'm like, oh my god, you can do this and 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 this. And the game came out. I was like, what a piece of shit that guy is. And so that's why I stopped following developer news. I'm like, look, that's why my philosophy became, until that game comes out, I don't care.
Yeah,
they could change anything.
That makes a lot of sense with what I know about you, Fox. But I still like it. I like getting excited. And yes, I do know that of Peter Molyneux. He was very, very...
He's the dog.
Over-promise, under-deliver man, he is, but...
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know, they'll probably do a new Fable, because I think Fable 3 left a bad taste in some people's mouths, so I don't know, I'm sure they'll... It's a good IP, it's a good concept, so I don't know.
Do you think we'll see a Fable? Will a Fable game be announced?
Yeah. I think it's an important enough game in the Microsoft landscape to show it.
And you're saying it would be a reboot if they show it?
Well, technically, all of them are technically because they're not really intercorrelated. So.
Okay. Well, what I meant was, is it going to be called Fable 4 or something else?
Doesn't matter.
Hey?
Does it really matter?
For the scorecard,
really matter.
it does. Yeah, I want to win something. I'm losing all the other bets.
I'm going to call it Fable. I don't care. Let's call it that.
Okay. So Fox is saying yes, and
People-
it's not going to be
some
called
people
Fable
call-
4. I'm
Some
saying
people
yes.
call God
I
of War,
think
God of War. I call it God of War 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
But it doesn't
I
really
think
matter.
we're gonna see a Fable game. I think it's been too long since Fable 3 to just come out with Fable 4. I think it's a brand new console, brand new generation. If they call it Fable 4, I'd be worried about some people not jumping in because I didn't play the first 3. I don't want to play number 4 as the first game. I think they'd be a lot smarter to just start again or just call it Fable, something else. So yeah, I think we're going to see a Fable game, and I don't think it's going to be Fable 4. Reptar, what do you think? Oh, I've lost sound on. Are you there, mate?
Oh,
okay. There you
have
go.
you?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. I don't know. Will it get announced? I know it's definitely in production. I've seen so much about it being in. I'm gonna go with a throwing caution into the wind. Yes, it will get announced, just for fun.
Okay.
And I don't think it'll be called Fable 4 either.
Yeah.
I think, and I kind of in Fox's, in the same vein of Fox, they've all been different games where it's kind of like why differentiate the numbers. So it makes sense from your point of view, where like people would maybe think they need to play the other 3 first,
it would
when
just
they really
confuse people.
don't. And we're in the era of just, it's cool to just call something one title thing, no numbers. You know, Apple did it with the iPhone at some point where they just called it the iPhone. So I think like I just said with Forza, they could do a total rebrand and just call it Forza. No Motorsport, no Horizon. They could do the same with Fable. They could just release Fable.
Yeah. I agree. Now, moving on from Fable, I want to talk about some more rumors. There's a lot of rumors going around about this event. And also, just quickly, I obviously don't know enough about phones. I thought iPhones had numbers, so I'm way behind on the phone market.
I thought there was something where, or maybe it was, maybe it wasn't the phone.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't keep up with this sort of stuff.
It was something. I think it was either their MacBook or their iMac or something where they stopped giving something numbers. They just were like, this is the new iMac or whatever.
This might be if this happens on the show, this might be the biggest news in the show. There are lots of rumors going around that Microsoft are buying or in the process of buying, or hopefully by the time the show happens, they could announce that they have bought WB or Warner Brothers Interactive. Have you heard these rumors, guys?
Nope.
For those that don't know,
rumors.
W Interactive are the umbrella company that owns Rocksteady Studios, that makes the Batman Arkham games. They also own NetherRealm Studios that makes Mortal Kombat and the Injustice games, and Avalanche Studios as well as one of the other big name companies. Important to note that doesn't mean they would pick up all the licenses for the WB stuff like Batman and stuff like that. But if they do pick up NetherRealm Studios, if they do make this purchase, they will be getting NetherRealm Studios, which does own the license to Mortal Kombat. So potentially, if this happens, the next Mortal Kombat will be an Xbox exclusive or a Microsoft exclusive anyway. Do you think this purchase will happen? I'm surprised you guys didn't know about the rumor.
I follow rumors, don't care.
I've been kind of weirdly out of gaming news lately. I've been busy.
Yeah.
So
no.
It's a rumor. Until it's confirmed, I don't.
Yeah, it's pretty, like, I mean, rumors in the business world are pretty, depending on where they come from, but they generally happen. But it isn't a rumor where they have bought it. The rumor was that they were in talks, which to me means they were in talks. There were a couple of other big companies. I think 2K was one of them that were also rumored to be in talks to buy WB Interactive, that are definitely selling. So someone's buying them, obviously, unless no one wants them. But so something's going to happen on that market. I think it will be huge if Microsoft announce that they've got them. And I am very, very jealous of Sony and their Spider-Man exclusive. I hate it. I don't want them to have Spider-Man exclusive because everyone should get to play Spider-Man. But this would mean that the next possibly Batman game, because Rocksteady have been working on something that is also not announced. Could be a Batman game, could be, they've said it's not a Superman game, it could be a Justice League game. If this purchase happens, that would be probably an exclusive for Microsoft, which is pretty cool. Although I also don't like it, because everyone should get to play those games. So what I want to know is, will anything about this happen? Will there be any announcement regarding this topic at whatsoever in the show? Yes or no, Fox? No?
Don't know.
I'm going to go with no. Reptar?
I'm going to go with no. I think Microsoft is too close to their launch to... I think they've acquired all the studios they want to acquire.
Okay. Just to be different and just for fun, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say there's something about this. There's something in it. I'm a bit worried because you guys said you haven't been following the news or whatever, but I would have thought everyone heard of this. Maybe I just saw the
It's
right
not news,
things.
it's rumors.
I read it and I read it and
It's
I was
on
like,
all the news reports, because that's what all these media outlets report on, is rumors most of the time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Don't follow the news
Unfortunately.
anymore.
Yeah, but I'm going to say yes just to be different from you two, and plus I'd be very, very excited. Okay, now here's something you guys have heard of. Banjo-Kazooie. Are we getting a Banjo-Kazooie game? This is just something fun I wanted to throw in there. I know nothing, but are we getting a Banjo-Kazooie game?
We're not.
No.
No, says Reptar.
I would love it, but no.
No?
No.
Fox?
No.
No, you're saying. Okay.
Nah, Rareware just don't do anything anymore.
I would love it, but no.
You've actually mentioned that a couple of times, Fox, that Rareware don't do anything. I would argue that Sea of Thieves is going very, very well. And as much as it's not a game for me, it's doing very well, and it is really fun for a lot of people. Yeah. But Rare have a lot of different teams now, because we're going to touch on something else Rare is working on as our next prediction. But I want a Banjo-Kazooie game. I think there will be one. I don't know if it'll be announced this week, but I think there is a Banjo-Kazooie game coming. And I'm going to predict with my heart and say it's going to be announced this week. Because it's going to be... If all of my predictions come true, it's going to be the biggest show on the planet ever.
I would love if Banjo-Kazooie is announced. I don't think it's going to be, but I would absolutely love that. I would love to be proven wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never wanted to be proven wrong more in my life.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to be proven wrong more in my life.
Yeah.
I would love a Banjo-Kazooie game.
Cool. Well, we'll see. I'm going to go with yes, but I'm voting with my heart here, and I'm good at that.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Just a couple more, guys. Just a couple more. As we have talked about Rare, they didn't give a little teaser trailer. I think that was also at the Game Awards last year, of a game called Everwild. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's the one with all those strange-looking animals, this beautiful-looking world. But that's literally all we've seen. It was a teaser trailer. It's, been a while since the Game Awards, but even then, I think they commented in the press that it was like very, very early stages. Do we see anything more from Everwild or something else from Rare?
I don't know. I guess because they were working that Battletoads game, they did have some footage of it. So
that was my next question. Yeah.
So they'll probably show the Everwild's game Battletoads.
But yeah,
they got to show something from Rare. I'm sure they'll show something.
Oh well, yeah. I was going to say it's almost guaranteed that they'll show Battletoads. So I should have kept this separate to Battletoads, because Battletoads is going to get shown. Because that's apparently almost finished, so that'll be coming out like this year or early next year. So, but I guess we'll keep it to Everwild. But it's really just a guess, and for the sake of being able to say, yeah, I got it right, are you going to say yes or no to Everwild? Do we see it?
Yes.
Reptar says yes. Fox?
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, we got yes. I'm going to go no, because I like being different.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that's what a host does. Plus, I've said yes to everything. I've started going too much with my heart. Plus, if everything is yes, this show will go for 3 hours. Okay, and the next one was Battletoads. And I'm going to put this. In my own head, put this in the same basket as Halo. Not a similar scale game or anything, but if they show a release date and it's November this year, they're silly. So, do we get a release date for Battletoads?
I'm gonna go with yes for both of your questions. Just a hard yes. Release date and gameplay.
We're going to see gameplay. We're going to get a release date.
Yep,
I think it has. It's only going to be a small part of the show, but I think you're right. I think yeah.
It looked almost complete when they showed it the first time anyway. So.
Yeah. It's got to be ready. They've been talking about it for too long already. It's got to come out or go away. And I'm just going to add, whether this is a popular thing or not, I don't care. I don't really. Battletoads game is not exciting me, and I still have nightmares about the turbo tunnel. So let's move on.
I feel it, buddy. I feel it. I want it too.
One final prediction. Will we see, other than anything we've mentioned throughout this entire prediction segment, will we see some other brand new IP? I mentioned earlier that Xbox lack that third-person action-adventure game to compete with some of Sony's big exclusives. Microsoft have bought so many studios in the last, 4 or 5 years, however long it's been. They need, in my opinion, something to compete with these big Sony exclusives. Are we going to see something that we have no idea about, that we haven't mentioned in this show yet, that is going to be on that scale? Whether it be from the initiative or not, are we going to see a brand new IP, big, new game that we don't know anything about yet?
Absolutely, they will.
You reckon that's going to happen?
Yeah, at the very least from the initiative, if not more. But yeah, they have to. They have to. Microsoft knows they have to step up their exclusive or first-party game at least, because you can play everything on PC now.
Yeah, they have to. I'm worried that they won't, but they do need to. They do need to. If we want to, every time you talk about it, and we said it earlier in the show, the number one thing is games. That's why Sony's winning, because they've got all the best exclusives. That is the one area, apart from Game Pass, that is the one area that Xbox needs to lift and to improve, and this will be the chance. So I'm going to go with yes as well, because they have to.
I really think Microsoft finally gets that too, especially with Phil Spencer. Every time he talks about the future of Xbox, all he does is talk about, we need to do better at delivering games to people. And that excites me. So I really hope they finally realize they need exclusives. I dropped the ball with the one.
No, I totally agree, Reptar. Now, I didn't know that this episode's going on a lot longer than I had planned, but these things happen. I've had a lot of fun so far with it, so thank you again, guys, and thanks to everyone watching. What I do want to do now is, even though we are going a bit long, I do not want to go through the show without recognizing my awesome patrons over on Patreon. So it is time for Army emails, and this is where my patrons from Patreon can submit emails and questions to me. I take a look at them, and we're going to read out a couple here on the show. And just quickly, guys, we'll try and get through these fairly quickly, but we're going to discuss some of these topics that some of my patrons have submitted. The first one comes from Admiral Awesome. And I'm blindsiding you guys because I only just added this in just prior to the show, so you guys don't know what's coming. But we'll just get through it quickly. But I do want to recognize Admiral Awesome. He writes in and he says, what are your thoughts on cross-platform games? As in PlayStation, Xbox, PC, etc. Being able to play with each other. Do you think we'll see more in the coming generation of gaming? Do you ever think we'll reach a point where every game will be cross-platform? As in cross-play, I believe he means. But, yeah. What do you guys think? I'll go with you first, Reptar.
I think cross-play is a great thing for gamers, right? And I think that developers need to start playing nice with each. I know, and Sony's the worst part, the worst culprit of not playing nice. They've been the ones that Microsoft and Nintendo had to really try to convince. So I think it's great for gamers. So I think if companies want to get on the side of gamers, which Microsoft and Nintendo are with their cross-play ability and stuff like that.
I think it was I think it was Epic that forced Sony's hand in the end.
Yeah, probably. And now that we're seeing that, gamers are realizing that that's a possibility. And now, as a game company or console manufacturer, you want to make your fans happy so they like you and they're on your side. So I think Sony needs to start playing nice. I think it's a good thing for gamers. I think we will start seeing more crossplay in the future. Will we see a crossplay always future? Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
I want to say maybe. I think it's a I think it's in the realm of possibilities.
I think it's definitely we're on the first steps towards that. Now, is it going to branch off before we get to that? I don't know, but we are on those first steps of that journey towards that. I think Admiral raises a very good point. I think it's really, really cool that it's finally happening. I think it's all been too slow. I think it should get to where it is simple. I've got a problem right now. We're playing later on in my stream. I'm playing F1 2020. We've got a few people in the community that are excited about that game, that own that game on different platforms, and we want to set up a race with each other, and we can't because we're all on different platforms. Some are on PC, some are on PlayStation 4. I'm on Xbox, so we can't. And I just think it's silly that we can't. Yeah, it's 2020.
Yeah. I play Battlefield or Battlefront 2 with some other Twitch community members, and I have a bunch of progress on Xbox. They all play on PlayStation. It was the free game on PlayStation. I picked it up. I was really bummed I couldn't carry over all my stuff because I had like everything unlocked on Xbox. Yeah. It's just like it's such a shame that I can't. I want to play with my friends, and I have so much progress on this one console, but they're all playing on the other console, so I have to start over. That sucks. That's not gamer friendly. That's not good for the gamer.
Fox, do you have thoughts on this one?
Do you remember back in the early mid 2010s when every single game had tacked on multiplayer? All those because like they were trying to like
the Last of Us one that we mentioned.
Everyone wanted to be Call of Duty.
Yeah. Everyone wanted to have a Call of Duty. Like even Spec Ops: The Line. I remember the developer did not want to put multiplayer in it, and 2K said you have to put it in there.
Yep.
And so back then, like multiplayer did not last very long because if it wasn't Call of Duty or something else that was that same level, it was popular for like 3 months and then it went peace out, see you later. So like having more player bases to finally play, at least that way multiplayer can last long. Because how many like those games you want to? Some of those games are they're okay. Like, Last of Us multiplayer was actually not too bad, but how many of those games you wouldn't mind playing, but because the player base is split between Xbox and PlayStation, you already split them. So I think developer-wise, they'd love to have that. I think the only issue is just when it's PC. I guess like first-person shooter, like I guess keyboard mouse people always beat controller people, just the reaction times and stuff like that. But I think like fighting games, especially, or like racing games, like and battle royales. If you're not using keyboard and mouse, like why not just let people play? Who cares?
Yeah, totally agree. All right. Thank you very much for that, Admiral. Now, I've got one more entry from Patreon that I want to fit in, and that is from Kate Cat, or as I call her, Kit Cat, very big supporter of the community, guys. And she writes in and says, "Hey, Aussie, sending you a message for the podcast topic idea. Video game sequels. Ones you've liked and ones you dislike. For me, The Last of Us has been my favorite game for a very long time. When I finally got to sit down and play through The Last of Us 2, I was hopeful it would live up to my expectations, and I think to me it did. It gave me another compelling story, and I cared about the characters just like I did in the first one. I haven't had any specific games I totally disliked the sequel of, but there have been many ups and downs in the Call of Duty series for me. Jetpacks is where I draw the line in my multiplayer gameplay." Thank you, Kit Kat. I really like this one. I am struggling though. I've been thinking about it all day. I'm struggling to think of sequels that I didn't like. I like most games, which is a problem for me. Oh, I just thought of one. I'll go first while you guys think about this one. I don't know if this counts, but as an Xbox guy, I fell in love with Halo 1. I also fell in love with Gears 1 or Gears of War 1, and now I don't like them. So it wasn't sort of from one sequel to the very next game. It's just sort of those series have gotten, for me, worse and worse and worse as they've got older. Not to say that games have gotten worse, because I know plenty of people still love some of those games, although I think Halo 5 is almost unanimously disliked. But in terms of the series, how much I loved them from day one, I loved Halo Combat Evolved and I loved Gears of War 1, and now if a Gears 5 game came out later this year, a Gears of War game came out later this year, I don't think I'd even play it. So that's how much I've dropped off that series. Halo Infinite, I'm very, very excited for, because I think they're going to fix all the problems and bring out a really, really good game that I'm going to be proud to play. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. Do you guys have anything in relation to this?
Yep.
Reptar. Oh, wait, we'll go with you first, Fox.
Yeah.
Are we talking about sequels that are worse?
Well, yes, sequels that you let me just video ones you've liked or ones you dislike. So where it's where it's lived up to your expectations or where it hasn't lived up to your expectations. Keep it short, Fox.
Like,
you've probably got 1,000.
Yeah, that's too broad of a question. I need like 3 hours for that.
Yeah.
I'll keep it simple. Let's just talk about sequels I don't like, because there's plenty of sequels, like heaps of, in general, sequels are better than the original. It's like very hard to make a shit sequel. Like you have to really just, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyway,
yeah.
I guess sequels I don't like, Perfect Dark Zero, or taking it to prequel, that game sucked.
Yeah.
Bushido Blade was this really awesome fighting game on PS1. It was like super realistic, and the Bushido Blade 2 just wasn't as good. And like I wish Squaresoft would make like a brand new Bushido Blade 3. Like that's a fighting game I'd love to have back.
Okay.
And trying to think what else. Something else popped in my head while you were talking about Halo and that. Something that just I got bored over. Oh, Diablo for me. Like Diablo 1 I really liked because it was like a horror game. And then Diablo 2 they refined the formula. Even though it was backwards for the horror vibe, but it was just a fun game to play. But then Diablo 3, I played it day one when it first came out, and everyone, like pretty much a lot of people hated it, and the only people that didn't like it were just in denial to themselves of them, like, you know, waiting all this time and it didn't live up to their expectations. And then I know they patched it later, and I did play the updated version of it, and I don't know, it's just I still don't think it's a very good sequel. And yeah, that's probably the ones that really stick out to my head. I guess like Diablo 3 and Perfect Dark Zero, because I was a huge Perfect Dark fan, and when Zero came out I was like, what the hell have they done to this game? So yeah. I think that's the thing I can think of in my head.
All right. And Reptar,
give me such short notice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you had all day to think of this and couldn't think of one, and then now you're putting us on the spot.
That's why I tried to go first, and I actually just thought of that one on the spot. But yeah,
I just thought of this on the spot. You saying I like most games made me think of this, because I was talking about this yesterday on stream. I literally used the phrase "I like most games" because I really do. So sequels I like is probably most of them.
Yeah.
A sequel I hated, and it's very rare that I hate a game, like militantly hate a game. Fallout 76.
Oh yeah, okay, good one.
Fallout 76 is terrible. Absolutely awful game.
I could give that answer too, because I hated it so much I didn't try it. So I don't.
Yeah,
I bought because I didn't try it.
I spent $250 on it. I got the helmet and the steelbook and the whole big deal. I love Fallout. I was a huge Fallout fan. I got the same special edition of Fallout 4, and I liked Fallout 4. Fallout 76 is terrible. Awful game. I was trying to convince Lone Wolf yesterday not to play it because it's.
I was going to say, because it's on Game Pass now. It got released on Game Pass not long ago. I've been thinking of trying it. Should I even bother?
No. It's so bad. It's so. I mean, maybe as a single player game, it's better as a single player game, and it's
that's
a multiplayer
how I'd play
game
it normally. But
it's like everyone was saying, like, oh, it's fun with friends, like in chat yesterday, and I'm like, it's not fun with friends. It's the only game not fun with friends because if you're the host and you're trying to do like the quests and stuff that they just added, their big new look, we have NPC now quests. If you try to do that in a co-op group with somebody and you go into like the quest area, it gives the other person a message saying like you can join in as a supporter, but you won't get any progress on your quest, or you can go in separately to do your quest. So it's like, then why is this a multiplayer game if you're actively punishing the group and not letting anyone who's not host progress?
That was going to be my next question. So that's a bit of an updated opinion. So you aren't just talking from trying it back when it first came out. You know,
even back when it first came out, it was a
I mean, I know everyone, even people that like it now said it was, you know, terrible back then. But I wanted to know where your opinion comes from. Does it come from back then? Does it come from now? Does it come from a mixture?
Okay. I played it when it first came out, and I didn't have a lot of fun with it, but I still 100%ed it. And I had, you know, I never went back to it, and I didn't. It was boring. It was not compelling. The multiplayer there was no point to the multiplayer. It was just you were playing a Fallout game and you could see other people. And then I came back to it with the update, and then based on doing quests and stuff with a buddy, trying to, my hate just grew. Absolutely grew for the game. It's don't play Fallout 76. Okay. Do yourselves a favor and don't play Fallout 76.
All right. makes sense. Okay, now Reptar, we're going to get you involved in this segment. This is the Aussie's Betting Special. I don't know why it's called Aussie's Betting Special, because I am yet to score. And this is where Fox and I and our guest make a bit of a bet on well, it's not really a bet. There's no money on the line, but we have a bit of a prediction on what we think is going to happen on something in between now and the next show. Last show, we talked about the Ubisoft event that was held on July the 12th, and we bet on how many games they were going to show in that event. Now, Fox, we had a little bit of a problem here with the results. Now, just to go back over it, I predicted there would be 17. I wonder where I got the number 17 from. How come I can't get this right? There we go. Somewhere there. It's because I'm reversed. It's really weird. I had to reverse my... See, that doesn't say Aussie Gamer 7. Anyway, I said 17. Fox said 8. And our guest, Crazy Hazy, said 7. Now, Fox, I realized the article that I read that had the answer as 13, I looked a little bit deeper into it. There were 4 games shown in the Ubisoft pre-show. I am going to double check this with you, but I'm going to go with the fact that the pre-show doesn't count. Are we in agreement on that?
The pre-show, because I double checked the show and stuff.
Yeah.
That pre-show, they're all updates to games. They weren't
existing
actual games.
Yep.
Yeah, there was like a Just Dance update.
So the final answer, I just wanted to make sure we clarify this.
Yeah.
The final answer is 9. Are we in agreement?
Yeah, it's either 8 or 9, something like that.
Yeah. So okay, which means you win again, Fox. So the scores are: I am on 0. I have not scored a point. Fox has got 4 points. Duo managed to win when we had him on as a special guest. Shout out to Duo. And now we're going to get Reptar a chance to get on the board. We all know by now the Xbox Games Showcase event is this Thursday, July 23rd. They have stated that Halo will be the star of the show. I've also, since writing this, found out that they've also stated they're aiming for an hour-long show. What I want to know is how many minutes of the show will be devoted to Halo Infinite. Do you guys have your answers ready?
I've crossed my answer out 3 times, so
keep
this
changing
is
your
my
mind.
final
I
answer.
saw you scribbling just a minute ago.
Yeah, like I don't know, but like, can we start the countdown as soon as we can't be like, no, it starts from the minute they say the word Halo. That's when the clock starts.
Well, I was going to say, like, if they go to a black screen and then it announces Halo, it started when the black screen started. This is how I'm going to set the timer.
Sure. It's fine.
Okay.
If they go, this is the world premiere of, and they just keep mumbling on, and then they say Halo, start from there.
Started from the start of that sentence.
Or, no, not from the start of the sentence, from the when they say Halo.
Oh, okay, well, we'll let the judges decide. That's not important. All right, are you guys ready to hold up?
Yeah, sure.
Ready, set, go.
Yeah.
I got my...
Oh, shit, Fox, Fox has got 9.
9 minutes?
Reptar
a little more
has
specific
10.
than my 10.
And I wonder where I got this from.
17 minutes. That's a lot of time to talk about Halo for an hour show.
They're going to be like...
I'm confident. I picked this number just because of, you know why. Because I don't take it seriously. Yeah,
it's your lucky number that hasn't been so lucky
But
yet.
I'm actually confident.
My other number was 12.
I am confident that I've got the win here.
Yeah.
I have got because even if it's 15, which
would
have been, if I didn't love 17, 15 would have been my guess. And
I reckon it's gonna be 15.
Yeah, so I win.
I struggled with 15 and 10. I think it's gonna be 10 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna get on the board. I can feel it, guys. I can feel it. All right, everybody. That brings us to the end of the show. Before we go, I want to say a big thank you to our special guest, Reptar. Thank you so much, mate. Hope you enjoyed your time.
Had a lot of fun.
Thank you for being on the show with us. Now, before we go, for those that didn't hear at the start, where can everybody find you? Do some plugs, Reptar. Plug anything you want, mate. What do you got?
Yeah, you can find me. You can find me here on Twitch. At Twitch. At Reptar on Ice 300. You see it on the screen right there. That's basically where I'm at. I'm there. There's where the words in my about. There's links to my socials if you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram. There's even a link to my band. I'm an artist. I'm a musician in a metal band. People seem to like it. So
awesome. And so you've got a pretty cool Discord server, if I can add that.
Yes. I have a Discord server, an achievement hunting Discord, but it's also grown into my streaming Discord as well. So whether you're an achievement hunter or not, feel free to join that. If you go to my chat, !Discord, it'll get you a link, or I'm sure there's a lot of lovely people in chat here who are in the Discord who'd love to give you a link as well.
And for those watching later on YouTube, it'll be in the video description, all of those links that Reptar has just spoken about. Fox, I know a lot of people already know you now as my co-host, but where can we find you, mate? And do you have anything else to plug?
Twitch.tv/FoxPlaysOfficial.
Yeah. Go
links
support,
to my social media.
Go support the Fox Nation. Do it for me, Fox. Do it for me.
Do the thing.
Do the thing. Yeah, go support the Fox Nation. I love it. I've been trying to do it all day. I can't do it. Now I'm in reverse as well. No hope. Okay. But yeah, please do go and follow both of those guys. Now, if you want to support me and my show and the podcast, as well as my stream, guys, please head to patreon.com/AussieGamer17. Come watch me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/AussieGamer_17. Don't forget the underscore. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Thank you to my two awesome guests or co-hosts, Fox and Reptar. Thanks again, mate. I really had a great time. If you're watching here on Twitch, stick around and we'll do some Q&A in just a moment. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Post a comment and let me know what you thought. Fox has just left early. I don't know what's going on there. But either way, thanks again, guys.
Camera's...
There he is. No, he's not. Either
camera
way,
issue.
We'll see you later. Thanks for watching. See you next time.